The Matrix is a movie about cyber goths and Keanu Reeves. This is a podcast about that movie and others. It's called Crosscut Cinema, and here we are.
Hello.
It's a good...
I really thought...
What?
I thought somebody was going to read like a Wikipedia article.
Oh, I don't have my phone, dude. We can do it again if you want. Do you want to start over?
Oh, shit.
I feel like I'm ruining this podcast. I'm also the only one talking.
Neo. Keanu Reeves believes that Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne.
Guys, the music's done.
I wish I knew what was going on. Do we need to do it
The
again?
music ended,
Let's
guys.
start it again.
Can we please listen to that?
All right.
That could be the greatest.
The Matrix is a 1999 science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis and produced by Joel Silver, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving, and Joe Pantoliano. As the first installment in the Matrix franchise, it depicts a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped in a simulated reality, the Matrix, which intelligent machines have created to distract humans while using their bodies as an energy source.
Wow, that was insane.
That's really something, actually. Wow.
Was it good? Did you guys like it?
I liked it.
What was insane was how you ended it. It was really crazy. I'm not
How
gonna
was
lie.
that crazy?
It just sounded crazy with how the music ended at the same time. It was like it was planned. It was like exactly like boom.
I feel like I could be a voice actor, high key.
Voice actress.
Actor.
Is it actor?
I think actor is gender neutral.
Is it now?
I don't know.
I thought.
I mean, you could be right.
I think
And
it
if-
is, actually.
Everything's gender neutral. It's because of the millennials.
Damn millennials.
Oh no.
Democrats.
Rush Lindbergh.
God, that's an inside
Wait,
joke.
didn't you send me a video of Sean Hannity getting caught vaping on?
Yes, that's my favorite video.
That's amazing. Anyway, so we're Crosscut Cinema.
We're doing
Is
a
that it?
podcast about the Matrix now.
Because it's the
It's May. It's
Matrix.
gonna be May.
Nah.
Well, that's the second time we've done this joke, but you only
I
hear it
mean-
once because it was unplugged.
Yeah, we said a whole thing about ramen noodle hair, and
It
was-
wouldn't be right now, you know?
it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I can't do this. What am I doing?
What are
Do you
you
think?
doing?
I think Justin Timberlake makes the most money off of him being the McDonald's jingle, right?
Is that him?
Yeah, I'm loving it. That's because he had a song. Because that's a song. He's like, I'm loving it. You know.
What?
That's
That
there's
is?
a song by Justin Timberlake called "I'm Loving It." That's that beat.
I can't talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying. Do you think he gets more money for that than any other song? Because that's one of his songs.
Probably not any other.
That's
It's
insane.
a
Back,
McDonald's
dude.
syndicated song. You know, it's from
Sexy back. Come on.
dude. The McDonald's song. It plays in every commercial.
Every McDonald's commercial, yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
I think it's a good theory of mine.
The Matrix. Oh, so we were saying before we realized that it was unplugged and we had to do it all over again, that instead of saying we're in Minecraft, we're going to start saying that we are in the Matrix.
Yes,
And we are in the Matrix.
we're definitely in the Matrix.
We're deep
Tonight.
in the Matrix.
I'm seeing in code.
Straight up.
Oh shit.
It's long been a dream of mine. I may have talked about it before, definitely to y'all, but I don't know about on the podcast. But it's long been a dream of mine to host a party where everybody has to come as their Matrix persona.
We should do that
I think we should too.
I agree.
for the
You
Matrix.
have to like wear your best like cyber goth outfits, get your fucking tiny glasses out, and just do the damn thing.
Let's do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of what we're doing right now?
No, we are not on our Matrix personas. My Matrix persona is not wearing a T-shirt.
We
with
could
a
do
van on
we could
it.
do it by the time we review 2 and 3.
We'll have to see
Yeah.
about that. I feel like we can barely review 1 at this point.
Yikes.
We've been sitting here trying to record this podcast for so long. Now that we're actually doing it, it feels surreal. It's bizarre to me. And I still feel like I'm the only one talking.
You definitely are.
We didn't say who we were. I'm Franny.
I'm Bree.
We did this part already, I think, but maybe not.
No, we didn't. Not on this. Not on this
Not on this
take.
version.
You want to go? You want me to go?
You to go.
Okay. I'm Logan.
I'm Madison.
We are Crosscut Cinema. We review movies in full spoiler reviews. This time we are recording The Matrix. And then we're going to record Matrix number 2 as well, right?
Yeah, so
Number 2.
Number 2.
we're recording this now, and then we're going to go and watch 2, and then,
I know what our plan in real life is.
If you guys
but,
have listened
the
to our
video-
Halloween review, it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
We're watching them
Right.
fresh every time we talk about them. So we don't watch the next before we review the first.
And so
Just because we want them to be so distinct.
Yeah,
I've
we
never
wanted
seen
to
The
stand out
Matrix,
like we
yeah.
saw them as released because that does change the perspective of all the movies.
Yeah, and I think it kind of works better that way. It flows a little better, and you kind of get to see them as individuals rather than like a whole thing.
And you see what they've done, how they've progressed, and how they've spiraled, and like what's
Right.
changed over the course of time.
And so I think Bridget and Franny, this was your guys' first time like ever watching The Matrix, which I
Yes.
think is crazy.
Yeah.
Insanity.
I love it. And I was texting one of my friends and I told them I was watching The Matrix for the first time. And they asked me what pill I would take. And I cannot wait to have that discussion.
Ooh.
This is such a fun
no.
movie.
Oh, geez.
Bridget was really confused during that part.
You were?
She was like, "Wait, so did he take the pill that lets him stay?" And I was like, "I don't think there would be much of a movie."
Yeah. What,
It just rolls credits.
I was also in the Matrix, while watching The Matrix. So
Wow.
that's why I was confused.
that's got layers.
I'm like an ogre.
What?
Onion.
Or an ogre.
Or an ogre. I was just trying to make the relation to what. Yeah, it's fine. I can't hear you,
Yeah,
Madison.
so what?
I said I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, that's way better.
I don't know. I think the most important thing that I have to say about The Matrix is that it's like the gayest movie ever.
You think it's gay?
Absolutely.
Yes.
How's it
Wait,
gay?
how's it gay? That's very interesting to me.
Is it? You've never thought of this before? Or heard about this?
I mean, you
Or
might
you
say
think it's
it.
gay in a different way, Logan, right? That one character? The one.
Oh, yeah. What's her face? I think
The
that
girl?
it's the fact that her plot point exists to be the lady, that he
Yeah.
likes makes no sense because she's clearly the most lesbian character in existence.
But no, but The Matrix is gay because,
You begin every review this way.
yeah, I have to at this point. Because the directors, right, a pair of siblings. When they made this movie, they were a pair of brothers. Well, both of them have since come out as transgender, making them now a pair of sisters. And so, when you watch this movie through the lens of, this is the context that the people who made this were living, when you have the story about, you've always felt like the world that you were living in isn't quite right. And you always felt like you didn't fit in. And you always felt like these arbitrary rules that this world imposes upon you don't really make a lot of sense, but you've never been able to figure out why. It's like an itch you've always had, I think is the phrasing that Morpheus uses. And then you discover The Matrix, where you discover that you get to make that world and you get to break the rules of it. And that's your true self, dude. That's the gayest story ever.
You won't even need to dodge bullets.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, when you put it like that,
I
it's
know
pretty
I'm
gay.
I'm so high right now, but I swear to God, I could cry. The Matrix makes me emotional.
Dude, the Matrix is so good.
The Matrix is so good, and it's
The Matrix,
so gay.
The Matrix is so stolen though in so many ways.
What? Why do you need it right now?
I have notes on it.
Oh, sorry.
That was a little aggressive, Madison.
I didn't mean it like that. I just I don't know. I was afraid that something bad was happening.
Why would something bad be happening? I just
You're
have
call 911 or some shit.
no. I just have notes on my
She
phone.
just
Oh my
quietly
God.
calls 911 in the corner.
She's like, officer, these people don't think the Matrix is gay.
Yeah, word.
These people don't think the Matrix is gay, officer.
I'm surprised that it surprised you for me to think that the Matrix is gay. I think
No,
it's
no.
really
I think when you
interesting.
put it in that context, that makes.
I think it makes a lot of sense now.
But
yeah.
I just never think about the directors because I mean, not to be mean, I don't care about them. So they never flood into my mind. I don't think about their orientation in life. I just think about how bad Jupiter Ascending was.
I love Jupiter Ascending.
No, you don't. You're a fucking
It's
liar.
the funniest movie in the world.
Is it also
lie.
gay?
You hate that movie. Everyone hates that
I
movie.
hate it, but I love it.
It doesn't make
I
any
dated
sense.
someone who unironically loved it.
That's insane to me.
But Jupiter Ascending is pure camp, and I'm obsessed with it for that reason.
Jupiter Ascending is the dumbest fucking movie ever.
Absolutely, I hate it.
So even Mila Kunis doesn't know what it's about.
Eddie Redmayne or whatever his fucking name is.
Eddie Redmayne.
He crushes it in that movie.
He does too. That's the most fucked up part. Is he's so good.
He
in
really
it.
gives 110%.
It's like too much almost.
We didn't even ask him to do
Channing
all that. but he did.
Tatum is all over the place in that movie.
I'm obsessed with him.
In
What?
In what regard?
I just think he's insane.
You're obsessed with how insane he is.
Yeah, just like I'm just obsessed with Jupiter Ascending in general. I want to do that podcast, but that's not what this is.
That's I can't talk. I'm not prepared to talk on Jupiter Ascending. You gotta come with breast hacks and facts and ass and everything when you come to Jupiter Ascending.
I am prepared to talk about the Matrix. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
I feel like I just said a good thing about the Matrix. I've like literally said everything I need to say at this point, and so yeah, that feels good. Got it off my chest.
Yeah.
I really liked The Matrix. I didn't think
No.
I'd like it this much. I thought it was going to be like too sci-fi to where I wouldn't care.
I was also worried about that
Yeah.
But
a little bit, but
Right.
it was
Like almost like Star Warsy or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Guys.
didn't want that.
guys, I actually led into something and we never got to it. Like I already said out loud they're the great Steelers.
Oh,
then
yeah, they're
now
very
you just never
Steelers.
let me approach that.
I don't care though. Like, 'cause
Sorry.
they made
No,
it.
but it is important. It's important to mention. It is important because it's something you got to think about. I mean, like it's a good conversation of the Matrix is like there's action scenes in the Matrix that are directly ripped from animation, like anime. Like I mean, directly every single movement and every piece of choreography you can pretty much find in anime. And then also the storyline is almost directly ripped off of this comic book. So, and to the point where there's no chance that it was like, oh, maybe they, wrote it and it just happened to be this exact same thing. I mean, it was so exact. So something you got to think about with the movies, like how much is homage and like paying tribute to something you like, and how much is just blatant stealing. And I'm not saying that the Wachowskis didn't make it like an incredible movie. I just think that they might have stolen maybe a little bit too much to make it. Maybe it's just not enough their thumbprint on a movie.
I don't know. It's like really hard for me to judge that because like I think that like the movie that they made is so like important that
Yeah, no, I
the question
understand
almost
it.
isn't even worth asking.
I don't think that's true. I mean,
Because it's just like
well, you're basically like think about all the music that's been appropriated by white people that they stole from black people before them, and then got rich off of. I mean, there's
yeah,
artists that never got their due when they wrote the greatest story of all time. I mean, one of them like this, The Matrix is like one of the best sci-fi movies of all time,
Yeah,
and they basically didn't get any credit for it.
yeah, that's true.
I didn't know that. Fuck.
And there's a Dragon Ball Z scene from I think the second one. I mean, you can line it up exactly. People play it where it's overlaid on top of each other. I mean,
crazy.
that's pretty direct stealing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think less about like the shots and the choreography that bothers me less than like the story itself.
But the thing is, I think the shots and the choreography bother me more because it's such a prolific action film.
And they didn't
And they
have to
stole
do
all
it.
the shots. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the shots that the movies are famous for,
yeah.
the slow-mo and all, they took. And that's the cultural relevancy of The Matrix. I mean, we can talk about the storyline, but really what's culturally relevant is the way it changed action films. So, it's a little frustrating that that's the movie that did it when it is kind of blatantly stolen. I mean, there's a conversation about, like, how much are people retroactively changing things to make it even closer? You know, like the person who owns the original IP, did he change it after The Matrix more? But it still remains there's a lot of evidence showing that they stole a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's shitty, but then I also feel like I still love The Matrix.
No,
a
it's
lot,
hard
so
to not
like
love The
hard to
Matrix.
separate
It's
it, you know.
it's like the best it's like a best hits album. Like it's like none of it's like very original in the sense of like its origin, but all of it coming together in the way it did at the quality it was.
It's like now that's what I call the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's not what exactly. That is The Matrix.
It's
that is
so
what it is.
good.
It is. I mean, it's almost like it's ridiculously good. It's got like that blockbuster Jaws feeling when you watch it.
It's
Like
one
you
of the,
feel that it's a blockbuster when you're watching it.
my hot take is that The Matrix is one of the best anti-capitalist texts we have. Like that should be
Yeah.
part of the manual, dude. It is. It's like about that, and I really love it for that. I love it for the way it says like the system that oppresses you is made up. Like it's not real. You get to fuck with it. You get to break the rules. And like I fuck with that hard. So
Your knuckle tats.
my knuckle tats. We were talking about earlier how I want to get knuckle tats that say Karl Marx. I think that would be dope. If you all make me rich from this podcast, like if this becomes my full-time job, I will do it. Because there will be nothing to stop me. I'll have money. I don't have
And
to
the
like,
fact
go
that
to a
you're
real
being
job.
stopped and that's the only reason is very much why you want that tattoo.
Absolutely. I think it's bullshit that I can't show up to my job full of Catholics with Karl Marx knuckle tats. No, actually, Catholics are pretty socialist when you think about it.
Yeah. But there's a lot of problematic things with Catholics too.
Yeah,
I mean
Catholics-
they're definitely more problematic than
Catholics
good.
would be Democrats if not for the pro-life thing.
Or like the letting people have sex with children thing.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's pretty rough, dog. I think the Catholics are not too great. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. Sorry, Catholics. What were we talking about
What
before
is
you said
all
being
that
really Catholic?
noise? Is that outside?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like cars and shit out there.
Somebody was dragging their trash can.
Somebody just drag racing outside
You
of our
won't be,
window?
yeah, you won't be able to pick it up on the podcast.
No, but I was just curious. It felt like the whole place was
I'm
shaking.
good at my job.
Oh, yeah.
Bridget kept commenting when we were watching The Matrix that it was so green.
Yeah, no,
It is
it's
very
the fucking
green.
greenest movie I've ever seen in my life. It's greener than fucking like Jungle Book or whatever.
With all that
God.
jungle being green. All that
Not
green ass jungle.
It's not easy being green.
Bridget really went like the Jungle Book.
God.
They be hating on me.
Bald head.
What would they be saying? They be saying bald head. Oh, kids.
I'm back.
Oh, kids. I don't know what's going on with this podcast.
Which pill would you take?
This feels ridiculous to me.
This is like not even a review.
Can we pause, guys?
Why do we have to pause? I think we're doing fine.
We can
But
pause.
If you want, I could take
Wait,
a
so
pause on the-
Bridget, which pill would you take?
So I would take the one where I don't know about it.
The blue one?
The blue one.
Why?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I guessed which one like each one of you would take
Is that what
last
you
night.
guessed?
Really?
Bridget?
I'm not gonna say until you tell yours too. Until I hear Bridget's reasons why, then I want you to tell yours, and I want to hear your reasons.
I love this game.
That way, Franny can say that she did no matter what you guys say.
No, but it's true. I'm already right. I guess that she'd take the blue pill.
Or so you say now.
I mean, I told Logan, so he could verify.
No idea.
But
He
like,
doesn't
I'm an
remember, I
outer
guess.
space kid. I have no idea.
but yeah, I take the blue pill because like knowing all of my trauma, I just wish I didn't.
Yeah.
And so I
know what you
feel like I just wouldn't want to know about all this bullshit.
Yeah, like
Bro,
what if you went there and
we
you
were
hated it?
literally having this conversation earlier. I hate it.
This feels
Sorry.
This feels so fucked up.
Wait, which pill would you take,
I
Madison?
would take the pill which allows me to know about the Matrix.
So you take the red pill?
Yeah, I'm red pill,
Detective
dude.
Madison. I knew it.
I could not know. Like
She
how
couldn't
would
not
you, How
know.
could you want to forget something like that?
She'd be done with being in the Matrix though within like a day. She'd be like, all right, now
I mean, I would just like kill myself, but at least I would die knowing.
you'd rather know than live.
Yeah,
If that
it
ain't
says
you.
a lot about me.
What about you, Logan?
Oh, absolutely the exact same.
Red
Yeah, I
pilled as
know.
fuck, dude.
And-
I'm just like, dude, if
I'm Ben
somebody's like,
Shapiro and the motherfucker. How I'm red pilled.
like, you don't understand, I thrive on knowing more than other people. If some
Correct.
guy's gonna tell me he
Ridiculous.
knows some shit I don't know, I'm like, I'll
Ridiculous.
do anything
Having
to know.
information is like
Information's power.
It's
I would
so
take the
good.
blue pill in a fucking heartbeat.
You
There'd be
two
no
are insane.
question.
Well, don't we?
Give me
you
two
guys,
blue pills.
we wouldn't need you there anyway.
I'll save one for
Insane.
later.
What good are you gonna do
I
us?
feel
We wouldn't
that
need you
so
there anyway.
hard,
Go ahead, blue
dude.
pill.
sabotage them because you want to go back because you're a little bitch baby.
Yeah, no. Once I knew, I'd be like, man, I sure am gonna eat some uncooked shellfish right now. Like I would instantly kill myself if that's what the
Exactly.
future was.
Like I wouldn't want to go there and hate it. Like fuck no.
But like
But then you'd rather live your mediocre
But-
nut
but
life
you-
but
always
you
knowing
forgetting-
something's missing.
you forgetting's the same as you dying because your consciousness is dying in that moment. Your general line of thought is dead, so you
Right.
die anyway when you take either pill.
That's
At least
fine.
you get the fighting chance with the red pill.
And again, always
I don't wanna
knowing
fight that hard.
something's not quite right.
Same.
Yeah. Would you always know though?
No, they
I
said
think
you wouldn't.
would.
But I just think like if you don't remember that, your line of thought died, like your existence ended.
Right.
So you're dead anyway. It's not the same you. You don't get to enjoy that you.
Yeah. Crazy. And like all this is part of the Matrix, and yet the Matrix still continues to be like that great like sci-fi action movie.
Yeah.
At the same time as being this like philosophical question.
But I will say, like, the Matrix doesn't make sense because of babies.
What do you mean?
Like, how can all right, you grow up, right, in the Matrix. Like, even though you're in a tube, your body's still growing and you're having, like, a consciousness of growing up.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so then how does anyone, like, how did it start? And then also, like, how is, like, the, like
how are babies
if you're
being
in the
born?
Matrix, how can a baby be born? You know what I'm saying? And have a consciousness. It would need to, as a baby, it'd need to have a consciousness.
Well, the baby wouldn't be born in the Matrix. I feel like it would be like artificial reproduction of babies. It wouldn't like actually.
No,
be.
but you're in the Matrix though. You're living the world in the Matrix, and you have a baby because people in the Matrix have babies. Mm-hmm. How can they?
Maybe it's like a baby that's already been born that they just like programmed to
like,
give
I
birth
think
to
it's
that
like-
baby.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like how would it grow up to like what does that mean? You can't have because then also okay, like if you have a kid in the Matrix, you're having sex and you're having a kid in the Matrix. And every person has a consciousness and they're living in this shared like thing together. What fucking you see what I'm saying?
If you have a baby in the Matrix, you don't have a baby in real life.
But if you have it in the Matrix, then
you
what?
do.
Then what is the baby in the Matrix? Then it's not a program; it's a person's consciousness.
Yeah, it's
Whose
a baby.
fucking consciousness
It's a baby
is
because
it?
they're artificially inseminating like all the fucking bodies in the like.
And I don't think that it would necessarily have to be a consciousness.
But yes, it would because everybody in the Matrix is a shared consciousness. They're all in this you're all in this dream world together, essentially on the line.
But why would the baby instantly be a part of that? Why would it not
Because
just be
if you're
blank?
having who then is the baby? Okay, let's say you're in the Matrix, right? You fuck a lady and you have a kid. Every person in the Matrix is a consciousness, except for like the agents, right? And the programs. So that thing
Why couldn't
is
the
a
baby-
consciousness.
But I don't see why it would have to be.
Because they always are. That's what it is. That's what the shared world is. The reason why the Matrix exists is that it's real people in like a dream
I don't know.
thing.
I think that it works better if you just like don't think about it too much.
But do you admit it though?
A little bit. I mean, like it
Thank
doesn't
you.
quite make sense, but like it is what it is because it's still fucking good.
But I think it's important to point out.
I guess.
I guess. Whatever.
But
Major
yeah, I don't know,
plot
I just
points.
think-
Why point those out?
I think the Matrix is significant not for what it literally is, but for what it
But
does.
that's the reason why I'm telling people this because these things are substantial to know about the Matrix. What are its issues? What are the things that people love about it? That's what a review is.
I guess so.
Madison said we're just going to talk about the best parts
That's
of the
literally
Matrix.
what she's been doing. She's been bulldogging me this whole conversation. Like, yeah, but it's good, so shut up.
I just like it.
You're like, I don't care if it stole everything. It's more relevant to that. We don't even need to talk about it.
Bridget, what were your first impressions on
Green.
The Matrix? I want somebody who's not me to be talking.
Green.
Yeah. Is that all? Like,
Yeah.
like what else? What does all this mean to you? Being like a one-time Matrix watcher.
I don't know. Like, it was surreal and kind of cool that way. That it was surreal.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I just wanted to ask you: would you have liked the movie better if Will Smith was Neo because that was almost a reality? Will Smith was offered the role before Keanu Reeves.
I mean, I could kind of see that.
Would you like it better?
I don't think I would like it better or worse.
Keanu
honestly.
Reeves did not look like Keanu Reeves. Like he looks so
He's a
different
baby
now.
in that movie.
I know
Yeah.
it fucked me up.
But I don't know. I don't think I would like it better if it was Will Smith. I think I would like it differently. You know
I
what
agree
mean?
with that.
Like, I don't think it would be a better movie or a worse movie. I just think it would be a different movie, but that's okay. I think that movie could have been good too, you know.
Would you trade it?
Would I trade it? Probably not. Just because I don't want to risk it, you know. I don't
Yeah.
want to risk it for a bad movie.
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
suck if it came over and it was a bad movie? You're like, no.
I want fucking Keanu Reeves.
Give me back babyface Keanu. So like
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
the Oracle's annoying.
Yeah, a little.
Just terrible. I mean, just terrible, dude.
I don't. And
The
like,
character's like, okay, it's a wise, like, you know, like, it's so, like, ridiculous.
and like, not to get into it right now, but like that character doesn't really make sense until the second movie,
No.
and so it's like just kind of annoying at this point.
You're just like, was she real? Was she not?
Yeah, like I don't want to get into movie 2 right now because like that's a whole other thing. But it's like it sucks to have a plot point that doesn't make sense until like a different movie.
And not only that, but like when most of the plot points are stolen, it's like the part that you write, can you at least like end it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you write it the rest of the way out, please?
And then the other thing I really don't like about The Matrix is I hate the love story subplot. I couldn't care less about
it's
that.
ridiculous.
I agree with
She
that.
barely knows his ass.
And like they
There's,
really,
like-
neither of them really talk to each other that much. And then one moment they're just kissing. I'm like,
They're
what
like,
the
wow,
fuck?
I'm in love with you. It's
Yeah.
like, why?
Right.
And like, I feel like it shouldn't pass that like Bechdel test or whatever the fuck, because that like, even though she has lines or whatever, her whole fucking reason for being there, like Logan was saying before, is just to be the fucking person that falls in love with the one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
her whole reason.
She was used
being.
for the plot point of being like, everything that's happened till now is true, and also to be like, and also that you're gonna toss your wiener in me for some reason, and that's important.
Yeah, like that plot line doesn't need to be there. In a strange way, it's like the romance plot line in another very gay movie, Top Gun. It just shouldn't be there. It has no place in a film like this.
Can we talk about Morpheus's drip real fast?
Oh my god. See, this is why I want to
The
do
glasses.
the Matrix party thing, because like everybody in the Matrix looks so fucking fly.
Dude, he has these glasses that just rest on the bridge of his nose.
I know, that's fucking epic.
They're just little black circles.
They're amazing.
I love them.
Remember like in 2011 when every meme was like, what if I told you? And it was him.
Yes.
What if
I
I told
remember
you
that.
these glasses don't have earpieces?
Jesus.
Those glasses are everything I want. I'm gonna wear them at my wedding.
Please do. Can you have a
Please.
Matrix themed wedding?
Yes. No, you need to.
Instead of a first dance, you like stage a Matrix style battle. You're like dodging bullets, doing kung fu and shit.
Wait, you do like what Bridget wants, like the whole like traditional like fucking Midwest wedding, but like everybody has
They
to come
laugh
dressed
at-
as the Matrix like Sona.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like basically in a church, but like you're all dressed like that.
Insanity.
I really liked the Matrix.
Me too.
Me
I said a
three.
negative thing about it though. Are you happy?
Yes, very proud of you.
Thanks.
We have
I
to
don't
be
care for that
objective.
part. Yeah.
I really didn't think I'd like this movie. I was shocked. It's really fucking like interesting too. Like I wasn't bored. It's a lot though. A lot happens.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking about that guy who played that guy on The Sopranos being the dude who fucked everybody, you know?
Right.
His voice is just so fucking wimpy. It makes me angry to listen to. He's like the perfect kind of voice to like hate
Yeah.
in a
Very
movie.
annoying.
But he's so obvious the first time you see him. You're like, that guy's gonna suck.
Hmm.
Like you already know before anybody's talked to each other. You're like, that dude's the worst. He's gonna be the dude that's like the Judas.
The Matrix is such a good, like, for me, it's such a comfort movie. Like, it's such a good thing to have on in the background while you're like doing other shit. I was like drawing and stuff the other day when we were watching it, and it was just like a really good movie for my flow and like for my vibes. I was really cringy. I'm aware of it.
It's like, don't judge me. No.
I don't know. It's just one of those movies I like turn to it often.
I'll look at my notes. I think I have some notes about the Matrix. Hold on.
Bridget definitely has some notes as
Bridget,
well.
please speak your notes.
I have some crazy notes.
Bridget always has strange notes.
So my favorite was, do vampires have to wait to fuck during thunderstorms like in Twilight because they're so strong?
Has nothing to do with the Matrix. Not even close.
What?
It was raining in the Matrix, and I thought about whether or not vampires.
sounded
That
like
has
a
nothing to
fucking
do with the
Mad Lib.
Matrix.
Christ.
Sounded like a Mad Lib, dude.
It did, yeah. I said that I could feel when he was pulling the bug out of his belly button. I was
Oh.
like, I can feel that in my belly button, so that was cool. Or,
That's
like I could.
horrible.
It was like, ugh.
Bridget like has such a weird belly button thing, and I know Franny does too. It's like
Yeah, you guys explain that actually. This sounds like a great.
No, one of my best friends like always
No.
like thought somebody would like thought like belly buttons could unravel. She thought it was fucking weird that they come to a point like when you see like meat wrapped up, you know.
Oh no! Please stop! I changed my mind.
Bridget's afraid of belly button stones.
What?
It's a thing.
Like whores wear?
No,
You mean like
it's
grunge
like
chicks from the 90s?
No, it's like when dirt and lint and shit builds up in your belly button.
yeah,
Tell
and
them about it,
then
Bridget.
it turns into a stone, and it can cause a lot of problems. I've never had one. I've never come close to having one, but I'm so paranoid about it. Oh my god,
What if you
every
have one right
day.
now, dude?
Stop.
You should probably check.
Stop.
Insanity.
It's it's just such
Bridget,
a
you
big
blow my
fear
mind
of mine.
sometimes. I swear to God. Who would ever think about something like that?
She's crazy.
Me.
That's nuts,
I
bro.
love Bridget so much.
That's not even like a cynic worst case scenario. That's like a ridiculous case scenario.
But it's a thing that happens
Your brain
to
works
people.
like the Mad Hatter, dude.
It's a thing that happens to people, though.
Yes, people that don't shower.
Or
I
like clean their
shower,
belly
but-
button.
It's just like I don't have this fear of it.
Oh, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
a thing.
I'm afraid of parasites so bad.
It's a good movie.
It's turned into our fears. I love it.
What about any more elaboration on that? Like, what scares you about them? Because of
I
COVID?
saw that show Monsters Inside of Me when I was a kid.
Oh, like a parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a literal Oh,
yeah, like
okay.
a tapeworm.
Oh.
Doesn't it scare you?
Oh, I don't like thinking about tapeworm.
Oh yeah, like Logan just learned what chiggers were the other day.
I don't even like it being pronounced.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But no, like when I was a kid, like I'm a lot better now, but when I was younger, I would only ever order meat like well done because I was terrified.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
But I'm better now.
This podcast should be called Us Trying to Review the Matrix.
We said a lot about the Matrix.
We have.
talked
We said
about
a
the good
lot
stuff,
about-
we talked
We're
bad
talking
stuff.
about parasites. I don't even know what's happening.
They're like, we already did a parasite episode.
Hey.
That was a good episode. That was so long ago too.
I know.
Wow, we've really been doing this
That
podcast
was like the
for
first
a while.
time. The
haven't
first
we?
time me and Logan hung out, we went and saw Parasite together.
Yeah, dude, that was our
And we ate
date.
grilled cheeses.
Yeah, dude, this is our date, bro.
We
Oh
shared
my
a grilled
God.
cheese donut.
We had a
dude.
walk in the park.
That's a
That
cute
sounds
date.
amazing.
We literally did that. That was our date.
We literally had we went to a movie, we got grilled cheese, and we had a walk in the park. Is that not adorable?
We were so cute.
That is a cute date.
Did she trip and you had to hold hands?
No.
That happened on mine and Bridget's first
No,
date.
but
and I was
we did
so-
have to avoid racists in the movie theater, though.
Oh no.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
We moved to like the next row because there was these dudes saying like ching chong, bing bong.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, well, you guys are fucking assholes. We're not going to sit
Right.
by you. You guys are not going to enjoy this movie.
Right. Like,
That's disgusting.
why
Yeah.
were they going if they weren't even gonna like it?
You know what it probably was? It's got a really great title.
True.
If you don't
does
know what
have a
that
good
shit
title.
is, if you don't know what that shit is and you walk in, you're not expecting it. I don't know if I would be racist, but I might be like, oh, this is a drama. Oh, this isn't what I wanted.
That's so cute that we had like a friend first date.
Right?
I think everyone should have that. If you want to be friends with someone, you
Yeah.
have to take them out.
Dude, you gotta show them around.
You got to show them what being your friend would be like. The
Yeah.
kind of things you do
And then
together.
Grilled
like
cheese
day
donuts.
2, you guys had a podcast.
Correct.
I think we started
We
becoming
literally-
friends because we wanted to do a
We
podcast.
moved so fast. We're like lesbians in that way.
We really were.
We U-hauled
and
into
I-
the friendship.
And the worst part, it started out with me like having to, because I was like kind of your boss, I guess, in a way. It started with me having to like be a quote unquote disciplinarian for a moment.
And you
and then
thought I
me
was mad, and I literally couldn't care less. I was like, okay, I get paid $10 an hour, so
But
What do you want?
you were just like, I don't care. I was like, dude, I feel really bad for being such an asshole. You're like, nah, it's not a big deal. I was like, all right, cool. But I did have to say those things.
like you weren't
Otherwise-
mean to me though. Like it really wasn't mean at all.
I don't know, man. I guess I'm just a gentle bird that
I
way.
had a lot worse. I don't know.
Like, oh, jeez. But we went from that to like the next week being like, we'll have a podcast with this one guy, and then it didn't happen with that one guy.
Then I promptly kicked that one guy out.
Franny
and
fired
said,
him, took his
you know
job.
what? I think
and then
I
we're
would
like,
be on
you
your
know what?
podcast.
We were like, this spaghetti's lose one ingredient.
And that's Bridget.
Yep.
No, she just beamed. Bridget is the cutest human being alive. Look at her, dude.
Dude. Both sides of her head looks like big puffs of smoke.
She's got pigtails.
They're huge, bro.
She's adorable.
What were we talking about?
Our friendship.
The Matrix.
Friendship. It is really fucked up. We start talking about our friendship during our Matrix review.
Yeah. Well, The Matrix is about friendship.
No, it's not.
The Matrix.
Absolutely
you gotta
not.
Find yourself some comrades.
The first friend he made in the Matrix betrayed him.
Well, yeah, but that's how friends are sometimes.
Also, Dozer, am I right?
Yeah.
I love Dozer. He doesn't get enough credit in the Matrix fandom. He took a whole laser beam to the face and still tried to get up and tackle
really
the dude.
did. Mouse is annoying.
Mouse is... I was kind of happy when Mouse died.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love Trinity, though. I'm so gay for her.
She's so
Yeah,
gay in
Trinity
general.
is gay.
She's
Gay
hot.
as fuck, dude.
Absolutely.
Do you like her on Jessica Jones?
I don't think I ever actually finished Jessica Jones.
She's
but-
the lawyer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's a lesbian.
She's lesbian, and that's why I thought
Yeah.
maybe you were aware of it.
I know it now.
Oh
I know
yeah,
it.
yeah.
She's like the power lesbian in the...
Yes.
Yeah, the blonde
She's a
one.
power lesbian in this, too.
Nope. What? Is she...
I don't know. It's been a long
I
time.
think she looks the same.
Hopefully.
Uh,
But
Never
yeah.
mind.
Oh, okay. What is happening right now? I mean, honestly, what... Oh, I was just thinking, okay. The best part about The Matrix is, like, it's clearly, like, so many odes to, like, the most ridiculous, like, pieces of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
They recreated the tumbleweed. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're standing in front of each other together. Like, it's like super cyber goth, but it feels very Western. But instead of a tumbleweed rolling by, it's old newspaper.
Yep.
It's like, oh shit. I'm not
It's
gonna
so
lie.
good.
That scene was pretty fucking like, so good.
It's really amazing to me how much like sci-fi movies and Western movies have in common, and I'm obsessed with that.
That's why I love when they do like crossover. Like, even though Cowboys versus Aliens wasn't awesome, it still kind of was awesome.
Yeah, because like those things they're kind of about the same thing, like being in a strange new world that you don't understand and feeling like an outsider. You know, the last frontier, the final frontier. That's what they say. Not
Yeah.
the last. That's my knockoff Star Trek. Space, the last frontier.
Ridiculous. But what's everybody's favorite scene? And please tell me it's Lawrence Fishburne busting through the wall to save Neo in the bathroom. That has to be someone's favorite. Do you know what I'm talking? When he just flies through,
Yeah.
it looks so ridiculous. He looks
It's amazing.
so ridiculous in it. He jumps like a frog.
I think my favorite scene would probably have to be like the big, like the final battle where they have to go into the, I think it's a bank, right? And they have to fight all the agents. And yeah, I
And
just
she's
think,
the first one to kill the agent.
yeah. And
That
it's
was metal.
fucking amazing.
Wasn't
and I
Neo?
think-
It was fucking her who killed the
Right.
first agent.
Yeah, and I just think that scene's like just a fucking epic ass battle scene, and I think it's really cool. And I think that it like lays the groundwork for so many movies, just the way these action scenes are done and stolen. But that's fine.
Absolutely thieved.
Also, I like when Neo first learns about the Matrix and Morpheus is like showing him what it can do. I think that's really cool. Just
Oh
that,
my gosh,
that like liberation moment.
that just like the dojo is awesome, but also like when they're walking through the street, and
Yeah.
I think they knew what they had with like the girl in the red dress scene, and then he like always talks about it. But when that scene's actually happening, you're like, that was a dope ass scene.
Yeah, for real.
I like when we found out that he was like literally bugged. I thought that was funny. That like when he was bugged, he was like literally bugged. It was like,
Oh yeah.
It was like traumatizing too, though.
yeah, but I liked it.
This movie makes me afraid of my OK Google.
Right.
It really
Get
does,
that.
though. I always forget that it's an anti-AI movie. I always think of Matrix as like almost like Aliens for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I mean it really is anti-AI.
It really, really is. There's a
I'm
cat outside, by the way,
My
Right.
favorite
right
scene.
over there. We on
What
the
a friend and boy.
we gotta
Yeah.
put that one meme I made on the thumbnail now because we're talking about the street cats at the trailer park. Remember the bank
Yeah.
robbery picture? I'll put it on. You guys will laugh.
My favorite scene is when like you first see them in their like Matrix persona outfits and they're like in the fake world and they're like coming out of like that. I think it looks like a storage locker. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I just love all the iconic looks.
Yes. I do. I would love to see, like, because we've been talking about how we want to do, like, a Matrix soda party thing. I want people to send their Matrix sodas in to us, like, on our email or some
Yes.
shit.
yes.
Or draw your Matrix soda. That'd be cool. Draw my Matrix Zona.
Yeah,
She's
draw what
wearing
you think
frat-
Or-
our Matrix Zonas are.
If you put them on Twitter and like tag
Yeah, tag us in
3CP Matrix
Don't
or
tag
whatever.
3C. Oh yeah.
Oh, Bridget just
hashtag
made
it.
up a hashtag. Oh no.
Bridget's so high. She thinks we're Chelsea Hannity all of a sudden. But now fucking hashtags. Are you kidding me?
I hate it.
Who are we,
so
Jimmy
funny.
fucking Fallon? Oh my god, that's so ridiculous.
But no, show us your Matrix Zonas though. I do
Oh,
want to see them. I
holy
love to see
shit.
that shit.
It's just downright embarrassing.
Don't be mean.
I'm joking.
I know. So,
Bridget, you're a legend. Legends
Matrix
never
is
die.
Such a film.
I don't even know.
I love the score to the Matrix too. I have to say that very like synthy.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Landon who made our Matrix thing.
Oh yeah,
theme
hell
there.
yeah.
He made that entire theme just based on watching the Matrix and listening to the music, and he thought it was reminiscent of like what the score is in between all the goth techno.
Yeah, that's dope.
I really love that.
Honestly, like, where do you think Keanu Reeves' career would be if he had not done The Matrix? If Will Smith had done it instead?
Well, Will Smith would be way more famous.
I don't know. Will Smith's already like really famous.
I feel like it's like so culturally. It's like how Tim Curry's famous for two things at once. I think it's so significant. It'd be like being famous for two different things, just because it reaches so many different people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Keanu, basically his whole career rides on The Matrix because he stopped making good movies. He was like, I'm not interested in that. And he just makes like weird shit, and basically he's still legitimized by The Matrix.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like him. It looks like if you told me this was Keanu Reeves' son, I'd believe you.
Bridget
Like
did
it doesn't.
say like, oh my gosh, Keanu Reeves?
He looks so different.
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of looks like a dork, to be honest. I feel like he looks better as he got older.
Yeah. No.
Oh
definitely.
yeah, definitely. When he has the sober fox thing going on, it's a lot better for him.
This movie's insane, though.
It really is.
I'm so excited to see where they go because it feels like it should. It feels like it should stop. You know, like this feels like an okay end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it goes is up for debate. I'm excited to have that conversation.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit more bloody, I think.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
gonna. So our plan is we're gonna go watch it and then we're gonna record
So
it a
we
different
should-
day for you.
And we should rate this part right now.
Yeah. let's do
we
that.
definitely will. I'm gonna go ahead and give The Matrix an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm high, but I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It means so much to me.
8.5 out of 10.
It's a
It's
7.5 out of
question.
10.
Fair enough.
All right, we'll be back.
I have rose-colored Matrix glasses, so I get
you
it.
do,
That's
but
cool.
that's fine. All right. And
And
we're
we're back.
we're
What's
back.
going on?
Are we here?
I always am the person who's like, and we're back. So I thought I wasn't going to say it that
I
time.
think I usually am because I'm watching the time.
I thought Brandon was gonna like give us a point or like say something, but no.
no, we're just
I was
Because,
watching
like-
Franny's face. So, like trying to figure out.
I guess that's true. Like, they don't even necessarily know when you've started
No.
it. So it's just
No.
me. And I feel like I say it all the time.
I feel like I say it more.
I think it's probably a mix of the two of us because
Yeah.
we're the only two who can see it.
Well, here we
Yeah.
are.
We're
Yep.
back,
Yeah, we're dangle back, guys.
and this time we're talking about.
Matrix 2.
The Matrix.
Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, I was trying to
It's
think of what it
reloaded.
was
They
called.
reloaded it.
I almost said re-downloaded.
Re-download it.
Somebody say good stuff before I tear it apart.
Um,
I have like a fondness in my heart for all three Matrix movies. Like I love the Matrix. I don't know. I just have like a passion for it. I guess I just think the Matrix is great.
Which is crazy because The Matrix is literally just like total rips off of anime, but you don't like anime. Even
I'm
though
learning
like
to like anime.
that's
I think.
true. I think you're really gonna be into like Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know it's inspired a lot by that. So
I think you'll really dig that stuff because this is like a worse version of that.
Can you tell me what happened in the movie, Madison?
sure.
Thank you, because
So-
I'm not sure.
I also am not sure.
I was like literally Bridget's interpreter for
She was
Matrix
like-
Reloaded.
she was like, now they're
could
doing
What's
this.
sad is like it. What's so funny is some of the symbolism. Before you get onto that,
Yeah.
some of the symbolism in these movies is so like really fucking like out there and like you have to dig into it.
And that's what I love about it.
But then some of it is like so fucking bad and in your face too.
Yeah, and then like
some of it's so bad and like right out in the open of how bad it is.
And then like if you want to make a movie that like relies really heavily on symbolism and on themes, like you shouldn't make the actual plot of your movie so complicated that I cannot figure out what the fuck is going on.
Not just that, but convoluted.
Yeah, and boring.
And boring. How are there like 80 billion action sequences and I'm still bored? There's like 800 billion. Anyway, you could talk about what it's about.
I see a cat out there. Sorry.
Wait, I have
Your
I have a
interpretation
question.
of the film is going to be more interesting than the movie. So,
I have a question.
What, like,
wait, Bridget has a question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is Neo supposed to be fucking Jesus?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That's
He's
all.
your Christ figure.
He's like very messiah in everything he does, but also his name Neo is literally just like another. Like it's also
No, yeah.
It's just if you rearrange the letters, it's one.
the one, yeah.
Oh my god.
One.
And the Matrix has a lot of that. If you like,
And I guess
rearrange the
Trinity
letters and
is
shit.
third, least important next to her and Morpheus. That's why that bitch's name is Trinity. Because
Right.
she's the third one. She's the
Right.
third one with boobs.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking
I just wonder because like I was thinking about it as I was sitting here watching this cat walk down the street and a lot of Christian people love the Matrix.
Really?
Is that a thing? I don't think that's true at all.
I don't know about that.
I
know-
actually am pretty sure Christians blamed the Matrix for the one shooting. What is it? Columbine.
Oh.
The Christians
Really?
blamed Matrix for Columbine, so I don't think that's true.
I feel like I know
Wait.
some Christians that like the Matrix a lot.
Why did they blame?
Because they wore trench coats, sunglasses, and brought in machine guns.
Jesus Christ.
I'd say that they're pretty inspired. I think that's a fair
That's
point.
disgusting.
I wouldn't blame the Matrix, but I'd say they were inspired.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Yikes.
it's iconic. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, in both and good ways.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
So what actually like the plot of the movie is it takes place some months after the end of the first film. And the Nebuchadnezzar, which is the ship that Morpheus captains, is
And some people pronounce it the Nebuchadnezzar. Some people pronounce it the Nebuchadnezzar because the Wachowskis, I guess, can't do line reads. They had-
they hadn't decided. But anyway, so they've been like, you know, about in the general world.
Yeah, we see
as
Zion. We see Zion for the first time, which is
Yes.
That's actually one thing I like about the movie. Even though Zion is a boring pile of shit, at least from the first film, one of the things I didn't like about the original Matrix was, by the way, I feel like so much more favorable about it now. Now that we're like,
Yeah.
now that I've watched the other ones, I'm like, wow, I gave Matrix too much shit because the rest of them are even worse. They talked about Zion constantly, like that's a place that should be important. You should care about that, and then they don't show it to us the entire first Matrix film. And now you're getting to see it, and you're conceptualizing what it
means.
Like before they conceptualized it for you, now they've materialized it for you. They're showing it to you.
And even though I have a lot of beef with what happens in Zion in this movie, but like there is something important about that, and it makes it. It gives it stakes because you see like a population of people.
Yeah, you see
and so,
people
like,
that they're doing this for.
and kids and like families and shit, and like that's important.
And bad replacements for characters like Dozer, and also a bunch of characters they never cared to develop, as well as not caring to develop the first characters, the first film's characters, because we don't get to know who Trinity is, we don't get to know who Discount Dozer is, we don't get to know Jada Pinkett Smith in this movie.
You really don't get to know
Yeah.
who Trinity is the whole movie,
No.
And it's
don't
like,
you?
Sorry, we're supposed to go over the plot, then I'll destroy it. I'm sorry. I'm just really
I
emotionally
know.
charged about this.
He's ready.
I also have very strong feelings about the second film in particular. I don't know. I have thoughts, but anyway. So the ship has been, you know, in the world, the machine world. They are waiting for contact from the Oracle to tell them what to do next, and they are heading to Zion.
Which the Oracle's
because-
racist, by the way. I think that should be mentioned.
Oracle's racist.
What?
Because they wrote the characters out as yin and yang, the article and the architect and the Oracle, and they made the Oracle a black person who's mischievous and like evil.
Oh, I thought you meant the Oracle woman herself. Like,
No. Like,
I was like, I don't think she's being
the
racist.
iconicism of her, like the outline of her is incredibly racist in practice. So I just wanted to say, fuck you guys for that too.
Yeah, I think that deserved a little bit more
And
thought
then
and consideration.
When they had to replace her, they could have replaced her with anybody because the actress died. You know, rest in peace from diabetes
with someone
complications.
similar.
But they went with another black woman when it could have been literally anyone.
Yeah, that like I don't know. It does kind of play into that like trope
Yeah.
of like
the mystic.
the mystical black person.
Mm-hmm. Mystery,
Yeah.
and it's the yin and yang, like
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
like,
racist as
we
fuck.
don't like it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
It's not good.
Not super cute.
No.
But anyway, so they're waiting on word for the Oracle to tell Neo what to do next, and they're heading back to Zion because Zion is bracing itself for a big attack. A bunch of like Sentinels, which are the machine robots, are getting ready to attack Zion. And so there's this there's a subplot where Morpheus and then the other commander guy whose name I can't remember right. I think it's Locke. Might be Locke.
Yeah.
That
I wanna
sounds
say it's
about
Locke.
right.
Are there,
Too many characters.
Yeah, a lot of characters.
Too many underdeveloped characters.
Right, who we don't care about. But anyway, he is of the mind that everyone needs to come back to Zion in order to defend it. And Morpheus believes in Neo and his power to stop the war and wants to focus on that. So there's like, they're at odds here. But they go back to Zion. Another ship takes their place in looking out for the Oracle. Eventually, they do hear from her. Neo then...
Can I say something?
What?
I'm worried this plot is so convoluted and long that if you tell the whole thing, we're going to run out of time.
I'm like almost done.
Okay, go ahead.
So Neo then goes to see the Oracle. She gives him his instructions, which is to find the keymaker so that he can get to the source. He does that. He meets a guy named the Merovingian who kind of becomes more important later in the third film, but whatever. I mean, a little bit. I don't know. He meets the Merovingian. He's a dick, but eventually they get to the keymaker. The keymaker leads them to the source of the Matrix, where he meets the architect who we were talking about before, who basically tells him that Neo, the One, is part of the Matrix. He's not quite a program, but he's been like assimilated with a program because the Matrix fails due to the variable of human choice. Basically, the idea that humans need to have choices causes the Matrix to break down, and it doesn't work to keep the machines alive. So they've engineered the idea of the One who represents that choice, who can save them from the war, but it's all artificial. And so he tells Neo he can choose between saving 20 something members of Zion or destroying the entire Matrix and the human race. And all the previous ones before him have always picked to save humanity. But because Neo is different and special and he loves Trinity, he chooses to save her instead of all of Zion.
Dumb.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you the plot.
I know, but that's the one thing that really makes me mad. That and the I don't know if they're albino, but the twins with the white dreads.
Yeah.
Very upsetting.
But anyway, he picks Trinity in the end, and
Yeah.
then that's the end of the movie, and then the third one picks
but something
up
that
right
should
there.
be mentioned, and something that people dig into about the Matrix, is that he literally picks Trinity, but there's also a sense that he doesn't actually pick Trinity because he loves her. He picks Trinity because he knows nobody else picked Trinity. Like that's
Yeah.
Like, does he really love her? Probably not. Does she really love him? Probably not. Because what you come to find out
Right.
about the Oracle, the one who said, you guys are meant to be together, you guys are the best. She's a lying ass bitch.
Yes.
That's what she does. She loves to lie. Like, that's a part of her character. She lies. She's misleading people on purpose to get the outcomes she wants.
Right.
What the fuck? So I
But
actually
I actually
posit.
think that's really interesting. Like, I think
No, that's
a
what
really
I'm saying. This
interesting
is the
aspect.
part that I think the Wachowskis didn't mean to do, but I think but could be a better story. Is I wonder if there is really any love connection between the two. I honestly argue that there isn't.
I mean, looking at the
But
two, you wouldn't assume.
But the fucking movie wants you to think that. I don't care if that's the way we look at it
Yeah.
now. The fucking Wachowskis wanted us to like them. So yeah, that's what happened in the movie.
Yeah, that's a really brief rundown
So
of what happens.
let's talk about the problems with the movie. All of it. So at one point, Morpheus, apparently in this really integrated, super high-tech society, they don't know how to get a microphone for him to speak publicly, so he has to yell.
He chooses to yell. The other guy is using a microphone.
Incorrect. You are absolutely wrong.
I'm right
No,
about
no,
that.
you're not. No, you're not. There is no microphone. They yell. He yells instead.
Yeah, no, but the other guy is using a microphone.
No, he's not.
I think you're wrong about
I know
that.
I'm right about this.
I don't know. I couldn't.
I
tell
know
you.
I'm right about this because I Googled it after the fact.
Really? That's
Because
insane.
I thought, how
I
stupid
thought the other
is this?
guy was using one.
Because they used their speakers to play techno music during a weird fucking orgy where they're touching each other's plugs, but they can't afford a fucking microphone for Morpheus. This movie is ass. It's ass on a plate. Okay.
You're so mad.
I'm
about
so
it.
mad because it was over 2 hours of a fucking commitment, and it's bullshit. It's terrible.
There is a lot of this movie that's really boring, and like that's what's really sucks about it because like there are things that I really like about this movie, and there are things that I think that this movie builds upon from the previous one in like really interesting ways. And I think that this movie there's a lot to think about, but then like at times it's just so boring.
It's not at times, it's most of the time.
Most
and like
of the
there's
time,
there's so much like I don't even want to say exposition because you don't really leave it with understanding of what's going on, but just so much of like characters talking to one another and like it goes nowhere.
They do this thing they did in the first movie where Neo, first of all, the character of Neo's already fucked because they completed his arc in the first movie.
Yeah.
So now we just have to deal with him being Jesus all the time. Very annoying. But the other issue is with Morpheus, the reason why that character was interesting in the first movie is because he had a bit of like a dark, blind intrigue. Like we kind of just went into him and not knowing everything about him, and that made him intriguing because he was very purposeful in his choices and very much felt everything he was doing was important, and that's what made him interesting. So what they did was like, let's make every character that way. None of them have a real character trait. They're all just intriguing, air quotes, the whole time, and don't really fucking say anything.
And like I think that
I'm getting heated, y'all. I'm
I
so
don't know.
angry.
I think that like Morpheus is in the first film. He's like very righteous. And he kind of loses that in the second film because like everyone else is too.
That's what I'm saying.
Like what you're talking about, Morpheus loses is that like righteousness that he has, and like that's what makes him really interesting. Also, I have to agree with you about Neo, and like Neo is like such a nothing character, and it's so weird to me.
Yeah,
because he has like no, even in like what we were talking about before, when he makes that choice that to save Trinity as opposed to humanity. That's the choice that he thinks he's made. I mean, he doesn't think he's making that choice. He knows that it's not a dichotomy, which is important.
Or does he? Like, that's our interpretation. But I actually think the Wachowskis were like, he knows he's making that choice because he loves Trinity so much.
Well, yeah. But, like, you don't really see him, like, grapple with the guilt and like with the fear, and like if you're really gonna commit to making this man Jesus, like Jesus struggled with those things.
Jesus was a guilty ass bitch.
Jesus struggled with guilt. He struggled with being afraid of like what he had to do, and like
he cried blood, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Damn, that's insane.
I think he either cried blood or sweated blood, or maybe both.
But in any case, you're right. Like Jesus had like this like guilt about it, and like.
And he was the bread.
And an uncertainty.
His blood was the wine, the blood that he cried.
And he was the bread.
He was the bread. But yeah, like an uncertainty about, am I doing the right thing? And like, doing the right thing is going to be hard and harmful for me. Like it's going to end up killing me in the end.
And here's the real issue, right? When the Wachowskis were like, we're going to make this movie, they pitched it to Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers. And they're like, we're going to make 3 of these. And Warner Brothers like, no, you're fucking not. We're going to see how good this first one goes because we don't know you, and then we'll see. And then so what they did was they comprised their trilogy they kept talking about into one movie. Right. And then when they have a trilogy, they're like, well, fuck, we already did everything. Let's just make some bullshit and charge a bunch of money for it.
Yeah, and like, and then the first movie is so good because Neo actually does develop as a character.
It's a full arc. It's a real arc. And Keanu Reeves isn't terrible in that movie. But god damn it, he's terrible in these movies. His acting is horrible.
No inflection whatsoever for
and that's
like
what the part calls for all of a sudden, even though that wasn't how it was in the first movie. They were cold and like collected, but they were still emotional characters. In these Matrix sequels, they're like, no, a part of it is that you don't have any emotion. Like it's fucking After Earth with Will and Jaden Smith.
And like and it's so bizarre to me because to me at least, a lot of what the Matrix is about is that
it's so dark in here, by the way.
Love is what makes us human, and it's like it's why we do what we do, and like the choice makes us human, and like feeling those choices and choosing based on emotion rather than logic, like that's what makes us human beings, and that's fucking beautiful. And then it's like, but I'm going to deliver all of my lines like this.
And the first movie is really anti-AI, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the rest of these movies are like pro-AI because what they're doing slowly is showing, oh, actually, these programs do have emotions just like human beings, blah, blah, blah. It almost feels like a fucking AI propaganda like series.
And then it gets really like something doesn't quite sit right with me. That at the end of the fight, I don't want to get into the last movie too much.
We'll get into it a little bit later.
This is a big spoiler for the last movie. So like, if you're not ready for it, I'm sorry.
It's all spoilers, guys.
But I think it's worth mentioning. It doesn't sit right with me that at the end of the final movie, the Matrix continues to exist.
With iOS 7, whatever that bitch's name is, iOS 7 is what I call her. Sati?
Yeah.
Sati.
It's literally she's the 7th version of the Matrix, and she's like, this time I'm gonna make the sun, and the whole thing with her. You know, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much.
Can we
but,
talk
like,
about the? Ooh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead, but it just doesn't sit right with me. That's my thesis.
Can we talk about the twins again? Because like I'm gonna circle back to them.
Yeah, you talking about
Yes.
Riff Raff?
Riff
Raff. the two twins with the dreads.
Yeah, Riff and Raff.
Right. Yeah, Riff and Raff. They are white.
They are.
They are.
I thought they were like albino.
No.
No, they're white. I know they're white.
I looked it up.
They're just culturally appropriating.
I see. I thought that they were just like, I thought they were actually like
Because in
Yeah.
people of color who.
No.
even in their Matrix sonas,
I love that I've coined the phrase Matrix Sona.
you definitely haven't. I've heard that before, but that's cool.
Well, I feel like among this group, I feel like I'm bringing it to you guys. I keep asking Bridget what her Matrix
if
Sona
you brought
is.
us these 2 movies and you're taking credit for that, you should feel bad.
No, I just like the idea of a Matrix Sona.
Because this was 4 hours of numbing, awful, disgusting, horrendous
Over
filmmaking.
I feel
4
like this
hours.
movie is worse with like not believing Trinity and Neo together. Yeah, I mean it's just like no chemistry between them ever.
and then like you have to watch
It's
that
painful.
like weird orgy scene. And it's
Yeah.
just, like he looks like Keanu Reeves looks pained during that
does.
scene. He looks like he could cry.
They show zero emotion to each other too.
Yeah, I don't know. And like Trinity is probably my least favorite part about this entire trilogy, just because she is given nothing. Like her purpose is to be in love with Neo, and I'm like,
Which like we were talking about, like, is it really that, or is that just the Oracle being a fucking...
well, like, I feel like that's what that character is there to do, like, written into the script to do that.
Yeah.
And like she's not given anything else. It would be different if the Oracle said, you know, you're gonna fall in love with the one and you're gonna help him, and then she turned out to be a much more complex character than that.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened in the script that was written.
Definitely not.
She's just like,
No.
I love you, and he's like, I love you too, Trinity. It's like, okay, all right,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
really- it's
Prove
really
it
gross.
Like, they never smile at each other, not even once.
Right, like, and you have no relationship building for them
No.
either. I don't know. It's not my favorite thing.
It's not it.
It's not very convincing.
Yeah, and yeah, that's just the second one. Just has so many problems.
My
that it's
dad
really
wants us to
upsetting.
know that the Oscars is on right now, like we care.
I told myself I was gonna like try to watch the like Best Picture nominees before, and then I just didn't do that. I didn't watch any of them. I mean, I have
Not
seen
a
a couple
one.
of them, I think, but
The most annoying, but like circling back to the Matrix though, the most
right.
the most annoying thing about this movie was like I was so excited to watch it.
That's
And
the
then
thing
it
that sucks,
sucked
'cause
so
the first
bad.
movie is actually so good.
I didn't think I liked the first movie, but like I liked it a lot, and I was
I'll
so
be right
excited.
back, guys.
Okay, let's pause. Okay, we're back.
Hi.
Sorry, dogs.
All right, let me divert things just a little bit, just so we don't forget about it. Let's remember that that one guy made a lady come with his mind. There you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was
I forgot about that.
That
I think I repressed that
It's
actually.
weird and sexually deviant
Yeah.
for no
And
reason.
it's like, why does it
Right.
need, like, it's one of those scenes, that scene, and then the scene in Zion where they're all dancing, and then Neo and Trinity are like fucking, and it's like this weird dance orgy, and there's like literal sweat droplets flying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like weirdly sexually charged, but it's also the least sexy thing I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life. And it's
right.
like, and it just goes on for so long. And that's how I feel about the Merovingian thing.
It's just
Just
not.
like, it's,
And like, not to go into spoilers, but for the next movie, but like at the beginning of the next movie, I just want to mention something about him in particular. He's like clearly the devil, I guess, or whatever. And there's a scene where, in order to like get him to come out in this nightclub, they have to press the red help button, but it's got the P scratched out, so it's the hell button.
yeah, they like to do stupid shit like that. Like Neo in the one, and then when he wakes up in the train station, I can't remember
That's in the third movie, so we'll
in the
get into
third
that
movie,
in a bit.
but the street that the train station is on is like an anagram for limbo, and
Yep.
it's like, okay, thank you. And like so many times they have Neo like in like a Jesus on the cross position, and it's like, okay, we get it though. Like, I know,
Like everybody gets it.
right? Like, I'm with you. I don't know. I think that this movie is, like you were saying, like you were so excited to watch it.
Yeah.
And I think, Bridget, you felt that way too.
I was really excited to watch it. I was like, yes, okay.
And I'm like
And then-
trying to temper your expectations.
Like I did not, but Logan
Yeah.
tried to do the same thing, and I was like, no, like. Is it one of those things where like it's not an actual good movie, but I'll like it because it's trash? And he was like, I don't think so.
It was just boring.
it literally.
Like-
No, you go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think I told Madison earlier that I liked The Matrix, but it was just so long.
You mean the first one?
No, just
think
like
just
I
like
like the
as a series.
storyline. I feel like I kind of
Oh,
like
you
the
mean the overall story?
yeah, the overall storyline. I like it a lot, but I feel like they could have cut out. They could have had one movie.
Yeah.
That's what the first
And
Matrix
the first one
was.
is so
Yeah.
good. That's the thing. And like that's why it's so disappointing because the first Matrix movie is, and I'm sure I said this in the other part, but probably
You
not
already
as
said this in
coherent.
this part too.
I'm gonna say it again.
But it should be said like 1,000 more times.
Right, but it's worth
the first
saying.
movie is a good fucking movie.
and the first
Correct.
movie is about, you know, living in a society that you know is not the best way to live and that you know exploits and oppresses
it's really
you.
philosophical.
Yeah,
The first
and then
movie
once,
is like
and then
great
the
with
idea
that.
that once you know that this artificial construct exists, you can break out of it and like be the person you're supposed to be. Like that's really cool. That's hard
It
as
is.
shit. That fucking goes hard. And like the anti-capitalist messaging of the first Matrix movie,
Anti-conformist
like
too.
that shit's so good. The you know, now we can go back and read into it these like LGBT themes and like that's really cool.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like I don't even know if they knew they were making that movie, but they
Right.
were.
And, well, that's what they've kind of said since. It's like really cool that people like have taken it and seen it this way because like that's not something that they were even really conscious of at the time when they were making it.
And that's what makes the following sequel so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just the other movies
And
just kind of
soulless.
are like whatever, and it doesn't do that anymore. And then like we talked about earlier, and then the third movie just ends with the Matrix still being there. Like this idea that we can somehow reach a peace and build a better world with our oppressors, like,
Not only
shit
that, but
doesn't-
our oppressors aren't that different than us.
right? And like that shit
Right.
doesn't sit right with me.
But
'cause
we'll
that's
get
not-
into that.
Yeah, but that's not what that first movie is about, and that's
No.
what makes me mad. And like, I have a passion for the Matrix,
And I think that's
and it
why in
pisses
just
me
this
off.
like one like 5-minute stint, me and you have said the Matrix is the first one's a good movie, and it's because we really don't want people to not watch the first one.
Right, absolutely.
I think you should watch the first one.
I think the first one is absolutely worth watching.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a-
for sure.
It's a necessity for
Yeah, it's-
film culture.
Yeah.
But the other two, like honestly, watch the Matrix, watch the Animatrix, stop.
That's
Genuinely,
Yeah. It's
stop.
just like-
it's good after that. You're good.
yeah, the second one is just not
Yeah.
good. Like, I just don't like it.
It's
and
not even like fun bad at all.
it. Yeah, no, it's just boring. It's a lot of like fighting and which normally
I
isn't
like-
that bad, but like I don't know, it just
I just wanna-
I would
drug
say that the
on.
action scenes
I,
are the
I
best.
have to say this thing, the action scenes though, because you literally like were landing right where I was landing.
Mm.
The PlayStation 2 action scene with all the thousands of Agent Smiths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, did they not watch that and go, fuck. We got to make the last scene of the last movie like way more like they hit it with darkness and rain and a bunch of other shit Jurassic Park style because like fuck that looks so bad.
I don't hate it though. I think it's
It
kind of
looks
fun.
so
It
bad.
looks bad, but I think it's fun.
But I mean like I even think at the time it wasn't great. And
I agree, but I still have fun when I watch
but
it.
the part that makes that a problem is the one good thing about Keanu Reeves is he's like the more appropriate, less fucked up Tom Cruise, where he's a great physical actor.
Yeah.
Like those John Wick movies and this and pretty much every action movie he does, he's a great action star.
Yeah.
So if you've got a great action star and you're shooting action scenes, put him in the scenes.
Yeah, it
Not
was
some
real
CG
obvious.
Keanu punching
Right.
other CG Agent Smiths.
Right.
It's just not good.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
Especially when the action in your movies, that's the good part. The chase scene with the weird twins was the good part.
I was about
Yeah.
to say I love the highway scene though.
Yeah.
That like the entire highway sequence, that's everything.
Minus the Ghostbusters ghost like floating away at the end.
Yeah,
But
that's
everything
silly.
else in that scene
Yeah.
is really good.
But yeah, that's like a spot on scene. But yeah, I agree. I mean, as much as I like the scene of him battling all the agents because I think it's silly and fun, it's like
I
this
don't know,
thing
man.
looks so bad.
I don't know, man. And it's so long. It's so long.
It's
It does.
so
It's like literally
long.
10 fucking minutes of just fighting Agent
and they
Smith.
really thought that this was gonna be their like big moment, and it almost is like you watch it too, and you're like, if he could just Superman away
And that's
why didn't you do that before,
you're right,
bro?
You're right. That's the other issue with Neo. They're like, let's have Neo have a full arc and make him fucking Goku at the end of the first Matrix movie. Then when he's randomly fighting all these Agent Smiths and basically every other fight sequences he does through the rest of the series, why the fuck is he not just taking off?
And then also,
Glenn for pain, I guess.
It does come to a point where pretty much up until the last scene of the third movie,
which we
can talk about later,
Yeah.
but like there's never really a question of is he gonna win this fight.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think that well, we'll get into the constructs of the third movie.
Yeah.
I think they do things that do make you question whether he'll win. Because the movie is, I mean, they really fucking kill people that you don't expect them to kill.
Yeah, that's true.
And they really like in not in a fun way, but in a disrespectful way. In a way where it's like you didn't even let that character finish cooking. Like that character is like raw, as Gordon Ramsay would say. Like it's not developed enough. How much time are we at for this one?
27 minutes. So we probably need to start wrapping it up.
Final thoughts from
Yeah,
everyone?
final thoughts.
You gotta rate it too.
I have some
Yeah.
final thoughts. So this movie was so bad that I actually could not stomach watching the third movie. I tapped out. I'm sorry, guys. I'm excited to hear what happened.
The third movie is better than this one.
No,
I
it's
think.
not. It's not. In
I
my
I
opinion.
like it better.
In my opinion.
In
it's
my
not.
opinion, I like it better, but that's just I don't know.
That's what art is, man. Two
Yeah.
different opinions.
Which isn't to say that I like it very
I'd
much.
say I rate this a 2.
I wouldn't go that far. It's
I really don't like it.
It's a 4.
You think it's a 4?
I think that some of the good action sequences in it are really fucking good.
The bad ones outweigh the good ones. In
I
this
don't.
one.
I don't necessarily
think
agree
they
with
do.
that. I mean, that
He
highway
looks like a string cheese, and like half of them.
that highway scene is really fucking
And
good.
then the scene where
and the
he's-
scene where he enters into the room with the architect, and there's all those different versions of him speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good development
and the
here.
scene where he is fighting the Merovingians like goons and like
Yeah.
it's very opulent and he's like
Or-
smashing all the shit. I love that scene.
Or even just when he took down that robot thing with outside of the Matrix, that
Yeah, that
moment,
was cool as fuck.
It's pretty fucking iconic. Now,
that shows-
Franny really hated his fall that he experienced
Oh my god,
moments
his
later.
like fucking bad stage fall.
But anyway, so it's a you said a 1 or a 2?
She said a 2.
I said a 2.
2, 4 out of 10.
This like made me
3 out of
angry.
10.
I give it you give it a 3?
Damn.
Pretty low.
When we were texting about how I was going to
Yeah.
destroy these movies, Bridget's like, don't do it too hard. Gives a lower rating than I did.
What's your least favorite
Shit,
thing
time to
about it,
think.
Bridget?
It was so hard to follow.
Yeah, I really did have to tell Bridget what was going on.
That's
like
fair.
every step of the way. She had to be like, they're doing this now.
It didn't get any easier, though. As
You
the
did ask me
movies
a
went on.
couple times, like you're like, do you know what's going on? I was like, kinda.
I kept asking Bridget because I could tell she was fucking lost.
Yeah.
All right,
She had no
Madison,
clue.
rating.
But I would give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Spectacular. We're going to be right back with Matrix, whatever the fuck the title is. It's another R1. Here we
It's
go.
Revolutions.
Revelations, whatever. And we're back.
Hi.
What?
Beat me to it.
I didn't mean to. It was what happened. Oh,
back.
gosh.
We're back.
It felt a little bit like a competition over there. Like,
It was like,
We should just do this all over again. Just scream, we're back in unison. We're back! Yeah.
you know.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, like, ah! You know, that at the end of the episode, or at the end of the mission, I should say, all the children scream, yay, because you made it 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madison has
What a
no idea what I'm talking
throwback.
about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I fully find it Freddy's.
That could be a fun little thing.
if you
I'll play
made
Five
it
Nights
through
at
the
Freddy's.
last movie, I feel like you should get a
Yeah.
you should get a prize.
Actually, this movie's worse, in my opinion.
No,
but it's
I mean if you make it through the last movie, like this as the last. I know I said that confusing, but I meant if you made it through this movie because I didn't
I
make
know.
it.
Yeah.
I know.
I couldn't.
Like,
good. I guess
I
that's
couldn't
true.
have done it.
I was with you, Franny. I was on the same wavelength as you.
No,
We share one brain cell.
I said nope. You borrowed the brain cell for this movie because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I think that I like this movie better than the second one, but I also have done.
Sorry, I just wanted to get my...
Why do I like it better?
I wanted to say why, like, angrily in the distance, because I really feel aggressive about it, but I don't want to bring that aggression to you because you're a friend.
Thank
But,
you.
like, this movie's fucking donkey bullshit.
I don't know.
This movie's
I think
terrible.
it's less boring.
That is not...
I feel like the fight scenes
no,
go
I mean,
on.
that may be true, but that doesn't make it better.
That's why I like it better. It's just less boring. Like, it gives you
Like-
more to work with.
But they, like, bastardized everything you liked about The Matrix in this movie.
Yeah, I know. It is upsetting. I don't know. I go back and forth. But
The reason they took Neo's eyes... Okay,
What?
spoiler.
Wait,
yeah.
what were you going to say?
Just the. I don't even remember now.
Okay,
Fuck.
I just thought that you were going to say something and I cut you off and I want to, like...
I mean, that did
have you
happen, but
lose
it's
it.
okay.
So the reason they took Neo's eyes, in my opinion, this is gonna be spoiler central for you, Franny. You're about to be drugged through it. Is so that way when Trinity died, there wasn't this.
Whoa.
So that way he didn't have to emote.
Yeah.
Because he had the blindfold on. Because he's such a fucking shitty actor in this movie, and their connection is nothing. I really feel like they wrote that shit in just to be like, I don't want to show him being sad about Trinity because
and
like you won't believe it.
Even when it happens, he's just like, Trinity,
no, I can't see anything. Trinity.
And like I
fucked up this
and
whole
like,
movie, Trinity.
You almost feel like he doesn't even care. Like he
doesn't.
Happens.
I know we don't care.
I mean, it made me not care at all. I was like, okay, all right, go off, I guess.
Like that bitch has been plugged for the last time.
Like I don't. It
She's
just doesn't.
done.
Also, like she's so much the appeal of these movies for me. I find she's so hot. I find
what about the neurotic subway hobo that beat Neo's ass?
Oh my god, I had a great.
You're telling me that this is better than the second one? You can
Hold
barely handle what I just said.
I'm not telling you that it's better in terms of being a film. I just am saying that I like it better. Because at least this movie has a crazy hobo. The second one doesn't even have that.
I mean, like, it's literally like, dude, do you just feel like that hobo knows like the hobo from Under the Silver Lake? Do you think that they're tight?
Yes.
You don't understand, Neo. I created all of this. And just punches him. By the way, how many times are they going to do the Kung Fu Pratt wall hit? Like, I love it, but every movie, guys.
Every movie.
You got funding this time. You can get a real breakaway wall. Go ahead, Bridget. Sorry.
I took notes during this one. I
have so many notes, so I'll follow your notes with my notes.
I'm not going to read all my notes or anything, but I did have a pretty great one. I said, you can look however you want in The Matrix, and this man chose to look like Peter Pettigrew.
The hobo.
Yeah.
He picked that.
That hobo, man. He has ever watched Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
You know the teacher from Freaks and Geeks, the guidance counselor? Yeah. That is that hobo. They have the same energy and same look.
Hey, we're doing Freaks and Geeks on a pilot podcast.
We are. It probably won't be out by the time we say this, but it will be out eventually. Thank you.
You know what?
That's going to be good.
Like what drives me crazy about that scene?
All of it? Sato, iOS 7. She's terrible in it. Yeah. Her father is like has the most like weak, timid, unfuckable personality on the planet, and his wife is real angry for no reason.
Right.
At Neo
she was
for
really
being
mad.
the one. It's like, hey, my programming is I'm an angry cunt at you, Neo. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like
God.
But what drives me crazy about it, though, the thing that really pisses me off about it is that the movie begins with Morpheus and Trinity going to see the Oracle so that the Oracle can tell them what's going on with Neo.
Our new also Black Oracle.
Yes, and she's like he's at the train station. He has to see the train man.
But it's important.
Do this and that.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it is important that the Wachowskis, as confusing as their films are, felt the need to explain why the Oracle looks different, even though it's like totally reasonable that she could. And they spent like a minute and a half of her being like,
"Yeah,
I'm sorry, I couldn't come into you in my other form."
Right.
It's like.
Whatever.
Why? They actually, them saying something about it's like, wait.
Makes it weird.
Why can't you? It makes more sense if we just assume you did it because you're the Oracle and you're mystical and shit. But you saying you can't, I'm like, what's stopping you, bitch? Damn.
Right.
But yeah, so the Oracle then tells them everything they need to know about where Neo is, what he needs to do to get out of there. And then Neo wakes up and he sees them and he's like, what is this place? And then we get to hear it again. This is the train station. You need to see the train maker. It's between the Matrix and the real world.
The train maker works for the Frenchman.
And I'm like, we just heard this.
The trainman works for the Frenchman's a real line of dialogue in this movie.
The dialogue is terrible.
But it's like, it just drives me crazy because like not only did they give us one lame exposition scene, they gave us another one right after.
Right after.
Like
right
in
after.
sequence. Like they're really trying to hit it in case you couldn't figure out what was going on.
Can we circle back to that dialogue?
Yeah.
Because that shit, I wrote down some of my favorites. Over my big dead ass was an actual thing that was said.
That was said.
To someone.
Jesus.
Then also, careful, sir. The squids are sneaky bastards. It might be a trap. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
All right, I want to go over.
It's incoherent.
Oh, and then dig this before she sent... she shot that the grenades.
Yeah.
This bitch was like, dig this. And I'm like, that's not good. Also, finally, my last one is shit, she got a fat ass. was actually said in this movie.
Okay,
You know what?
That's
I have
that's
to say.
insane.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll say it later.
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. You go.
You're on this line of dialogue. Mine is totally irrelevant to what we're saying.
Mine's semi-relevant, but it's fine. But
Yeah.
but you know the way that like Smith talks when he says like Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Might, I'm gonna kill Mr. Anderson.
That's exactly how my mom talks to us when she's pissed.
It is.
She's
Holy
like,
shit.
She's like, Madison, I swear to fucking God.
You bring up one of my notes. That's a good thing about this movie. So here we go. Token, nice little good thing about this shit ass
Yay.
movie. Here we go. So there's a moment where Agent Smith's talking to Neo, and it's a really great scene because it's the first time he calls him Neo, and you know in that moment that
Yep.
this is actually the Oracle who's been taken over, and she's breaking through for a moment to give him the necessary info, and it's really subtle, and you might not even always catch it.
Word up.
But
I
that's
didn't catch
actually
it.
great writing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I actually really like the Smith character. And,
He's
like,
the best thing.
where
Hugo
that
Weaving's the
character
best
goes.
thing in this whole
Yeah,
series.
but I just think it's funny. He delivers all of his dialogue through clenched teeth, which
Yeah.
is exactly how my mother talks to me when she's mad.
It's insane. It's the exact same.
I love his plot line that he's like this virus and he's like,
Yeah.
like that's really great. I think all this Agent Smith stuff's super cool.
And I love a good like foil character, and like him being the opposite, like both the opposite and the same as Neo. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah, like the way that like okay, like I'll go over one other good thing, and then I'm really done saying good things about this movie. I swear to God. So there's this moment where Neo finally decides like, well, fuck it, I can't beat him because there's so many of these fucking things, right? The only choice is for him to like try to assimilate me. Now, I think it's really cool that they kind of show you that Agent Smith it's not like he doesn't know that that's what's going to happen, that he's going to lose.
Right.
Like if he does that, but he has to do it because he's not a creature of free will. He's not a creature of choice.
That's what I was about to say. If
And-
Neo represents choice, Smith is the opposite of choice. He doesn't have any.
He's almost like a balanced light of choice versus faith.
Yeah.
Or fate. And I think that's really cool. Now, they also ripped off Gundam very blatantly. They have giant mecha fighting suits, and they have a gentleman actually repeat a line that's from the Gundam anime. You guys suck. You guys ripped them off directly, and you didn't give them any prospects or money or anything for it. So that you guys suck for that. Yeah, and like I just don't give a fuck about that one character who after they basically find out like, you know, Neo talks to the Gerber baby robot.
Yeah.
And you know, the fucking son and the Teletubbies and shit.
Right.
What?
And then
This
after
is insane.
and then after the guy who's been annoying but for both of these movies runs out to the crowd and Zion is
I
like,
know.
"We won! Woo! Spring break!" And they're all just like over it. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
They're like,
That's
"Woo!"
the payoff for this movie. It's been 3 movies of telling me about this epic battle that's coming, the fate, the everything. It's gonna be this great, and then it's like over in 10 seconds, and they're all just like lit, bro.
And then like they won, but what did you win? Because the Matrix still exists, which then tells
your
me.
lives still fucking suck.
And then the people are still being food. They're still
Yes.
in the pods.
Wait.
No one is freed.
the
The Matrix still exists.
the way they won was the tranquil existence of each other, which is not good enough for me because they're
Right,
still
that's what I was
enslaving all these human beings.
That's what I was saying before. Like, it doesn't
Ridiculous.
fucking sit right with me. And it makes me mad because that's not what the first movie is about. And, like, suddenly it's like, oh, okay, I'll go defeat Smith so that we can have peace. But probably not. Probably
Also-
we're going to start fighting again.
Also,
and it's
it
like,
isn't-
I'm not cool with that. Like, I'm not okay with that.
It is important to mention that this is the one that has the egregious lineup of Dragon Ball Z, where when he's fighting the Agent Smiths in the rain, almost every fight sequence where it's direct combat with each other in the air is ripped from Dragon Ball Z, like frame for frame. And that's another artistic thing that they stole that they didn't give any credit for or credit to, and they profited off of. So fuck you guys for that too.
Yeah, it just makes me mad. Like, I just can't. That ending, I cannot be okay with it. Because it's just like, what? Like, not my Christ figure.
And can we talk about
Like, my man Neo did not die for people to continue to be enslaved and to be food.
So Neo
Absolutely.
dies
Just
too?
You know what's
because
really
the Matrix
problematic?
is better now doesn't mean it's good.
You know what's really problematic too is that there was a person who asked the Wachowskis if a part of their interpretation was to signify Neo as like a Martin Luther King figure, because you know obviously the tale of what happened to Luther King was kind of
Right.
similar to what happened to Neo, where he was like this big figure, but he ended up dying, and people were still oppressed anyway. And they actually said that that's a good interpretation. That's a good interpretation.
No.
That's a good interpretation. You have white Keanu Reeves playing Martin Luther King. Not good. Not good at all. Also, can we talk about Catfish Agent Smith in the real world? Ass. Ass, ass, ass. So bad. You
What do you mean?
Bane?
Oh, yeah, Bane.
Ass. Ass.
Horrible.
Get his goatee and his shitty acting and his shitty character the fuck out of my Matrix movie.
I feel like that character doesn't need to exist, and I'm not quite sure why it does.
I guess it's just to show that Agent Smith's like a bad mother, but like also he's defeated by himself, so he's not.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and all the stuff where it's like you took Neo's eyeballs out, right?
Yeah.
And then you pretty much just did that. One, I believe the Trinity thing wholeheartedly to make it seem like they actually have some sort of relationship and him not having to emote. But I also think it's so they could make it to where he has to overcome again.
Right.
Because
that's
they
what I was
already
about
made
to
him
say.
overcome everything.
Yeah, he's already fucking awesome. And like me and Bridget were joking the entire second movie of just like Neo just being able to do shit because he's that bitch. Like he's just that bitch.
Yeah.
God.
The reason why
we had like a running joke that every time somebody calls him the one, like subbing it for that bitch. It's
Yes.
like you're the one, Neo. It's like, you're that bitch, Neo.
I'd watch that edit.
Right, like because he's already fucking awesome.
there's an
nothing he
there's
can't
an
do.
edit of Reloaded by fans that took out all the Zion parts,
Amazing.
and apparently it's pretty good.
That sounds good.
But I
as
do
fuck.
want to say this. This is why the third movie's worse than the second movie. It had all of this time of build up, and this is the greatest moment, and this is the
for nothing.
I mean, they're pretty much built it up like it was fucking Armageddon, and then nothing happened.
For what?
For Agent Smith and him to fly around in the Matrix for a little bit, but it's basically like Agent Smith is not the villain of this movie.
Yeah.
Because he's in the Matrix that they're
Right.
gonna fuck. They want to get rid of anyway, but he makes a deal with Gerber Baby to go kill Agent Smith. Like a fucking trade code he is. Like the Pocahontas ass he is.
And like if the
Pocahontas
first,
historically turned on her tribe and like moved to England
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. I
if
You
the
gave me a look like,
first-
what the fuck are you talking about?
thought you said Pocahontas weird, but maybe I think
I might have. I was
glitched.
pretty enraged at the moment.
Like if the first Matrix is Karl Marx radically thinking about like what it means to live in a society, fucking Revolutions is Joe Biden. The fucking most white bread neoliberal.
Revolutions is Liz Cheney.
Like what a fucking neoliberal bullshit is what the third
It's not
one
even-
is.
but it's
it
not.
pisses me off because it's like, oh, like we can all just like live in harmony across the aisle. What kind of centrist motherfucker? I don't fuck with that shit.
It's
at all.
like, I'm sorry, but the issue is and this is the cardinal issue with the movie, is they treat it like they've come to like a resolution.
Right,
But
they're
the
like, wow, we
problem
figured it
is,
out.
what the fuck do weird robot AI people do for my ass? Last time I checked, they just enslaved my buddy Chucky, all right? They don't do shit for me. They ruined the planet. Now, maybe
Right.
I ruined the planet, but those were my ancestors, and that ain't my fucking fault, baby.
Right, but then it says, and then what the movie is saying that like, oh, in exchange for these robots not destroying our city, our last remnants of human population, we'll let them eat the other guys. Like, what are you talking about? But don't worry, it's okay because they get to live in a nice Matrix now. It's better. It has the sun. I hate it. It makes me mad. I actually wasn't really that pissed. Like you were pissed, and I knew you were pissed, but I really wasn't. But then, in between, we went to the Matrix ourselves, and now I feel like I'm extra heated. I'm like,
It's because
oh.
you know what it is, and this is why I don't get why you don't hate them more. It's because the first Matrix movie is so good.
Yeah,
And
I
like
think,
the more I talk about it, I just think of like iconic images like the pill scene and the sunglasses and like
Yes.
or like the breakout of his office building scene or even like the most minimal things in Matrix, like even dumb shit where he's talking to that one guy who portrays him and they're just shooting the shit. All that shit is compelling as fuck. What the fuck
good.
happened? What the fuck happened? What the fuck?
it
what
makes
in the
me
fuck?
mad. Like, and I think that's the thing. Like, I think I have like a rose-colored glasses toward the Matrix because I love it and I love that first movie. But then now that I sit here and like really digest the second and third one and like really pick into them and like kind of pull at those threads that annoy me, I'm like really mad about it actually, and I want to put the beat down on these sisters. Let's go.
And
We're gonna
like,
fucking fight.
And the worst part is like, you know, I'm not usually one for like, let's get some studio interference and stuff. But they wrote that first Matrix movie with the idea of it being a trilogy, basically with the context of what happened in the first film. That first film we watched was all the stuff that happened in it was supposed to be like a trilogy in its own.
Right.
So if you don't have a fresh idea, do you know how many collaborators, how many fans of The Matrix there already were before you guys started shooting those movies? You didn't want to pass a note. You didn't want to talk to somebody who wants to, I don't know, protect your IP and make it better. You want to fucking safeguard it and gatekeep it and turn it into poop?
It's just so
It's
bad.
poop,
It
dude.
just makes
It's
me mad.
poop.
It really makes me upset to think about it. Now that the more I think about it, the more upset I get.
And fair enough, because you haven't seen these in a while, and also you grew up with them, and I get that.
Yeah,
But
you had the nostalgia.
And also, what I was gonna say this earlier and I forgot, but what happens to me is every time I'm like, man, I want to go back and rewatch The Matrix. I do exactly what you did, Franny, where it's like I watched the first one, I'm like, yes, let's go watch the second
Right.
one. It's gonna be better this time. It's gonna be different. And then I watch the second one, I'm like, I'm not watching the fucking third one after that. I'm fucking bored and tired now.
Right? I just could not.
So yeah, this is probably the third time ever I've seen Revolutions because I never get to that point.
That's probably why you liked it more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's now that I really think about it. But yeah, I've seen the first one 100 times, and then I've seen the second one probably almost as much. And then by the time you watch the second one, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
To go back to the second one for a second, he put his hand in that bitch's chest and pumped her heart.
He really did.
Yeah, that was
And,
nice.
you know what? That's kind of romantic as fuck. Fuck Neo and Trinity, fuck that relationship, but me and who? You know?
And you know what else too is the reason why the first Matrix was so good, and it's something that you said that I think you're totally right about. In a way, I think you're wrong in the sense that we should ignore how they stole a bunch of IP. Good point. I think that I'm right on that. But the thing I might not necessarily be wrong on, but I can understand your perspective on, is don't question it too much. And the reason why I don't question the ideas of the Matrix that much at the time when I was watching, or the reason why I don't question it that much now, is because the movie is really self-sufficient and good on its own. Mm-hmm. And with all of its issues, it's more entertaining than its problems.
Yeah.
But then we get to these other movies, and some of the problems, the movie's so boring that you start even noticing the problems from the first movie.
Yeah.
Why
you
the
start
fuck?
thinking back.
Why the fuck are people the only energy source they can find?
Yeah, you just start thinking about
And
shit
also,
that
how
happened
do
in the first
people
movie, and you're
energize it? What energy do people have that give it any sort of power?
Yeah, and I don't know. I can forgive.
Why not raccoons? or water, like a windmill.
Yeah, and then
that seems a little easier.
Why not
too,
raccoons?
and then in the second one with the architects, we're willing to let it be destroyed.
And it's why the
But
fuck
it's
are you
well,
doing
why
it then,
did
you
do it in the
you
first
racist,
place?
enslaving ass motherfuckers?
Right, and it's wait, hold on. You said what? Because then why are we even here?
Why are you going through so much fucking work if you can just do raccoons?
And you know that it's because the reason that line has to be in there because it's wait, if Neo's choice is to destroy the Matrix or save humanity, then if the Matrix can be destroyed, then why even do it?
Also,
they knew they had to explain it, and it's so fucking dumb.
Also, not to be this movie also counteracts the argument of the first film in the way that you're do you take the red pill or the blue pill? Or of course you take the red pill. But when you explain it
Not
this
Bridget.
when you explain it this way,
I want the blue pill.
When you explain it
I
this
want the
way,
blue
it's
pill
almost
too.
what's the point of consciousness
Right.
if everything I do will end up being in their control? So why even fight it? And that's a horrible fucking message of a movie. That's a god awful message.
Yeah, and then
there's
they also-
nothing you can do. They always have control. Just fucking give up.
And then the ultimate message of the movie being one of reform and understanding the system in order to reform
But
it.
a fake
rather
reform because
than
you're still
dismantle
fucking
it.
enslaved.
And that's the thing about reform. And that's if the movie showed that oh look, we saved the system, but don't forget there's still these fields of people. That would have been something I could have been okay with.
But instead,
But it
they're all
isn't
in
that.
Zion. They
They're
got the
all
fuck. They got the
yay!
Raven music pumping again. Fucking Morpheus is hitting up Jada Pinkett Smith and shit.
Right.
And everybody's like, "This is totally fine. Who
We
needs raccoons?"
lived.
Raccoons.
And they're what about all the other people? Dude, what about all of them? And that just pisses me off.
Do you get
I
why?
cannot
Do you
abide
get
by
why I was
that.
fuming all
cannot.
day though? Where I was like, I cannot fucking wait to tear this movie apart.
I think it just took me really sitting here and thinking about it because I watched this movie today.
Yeah.
And so I think at the point now
I
I'm
did
just
too. For the record, I did
what
watch
the
it today.
fuck? We were gonna watch it last night and that didn't happen. But
Same.
Yeah, and Franny was just like, I don't know, man. I'm like, you know what? You can skip this one.
I think I was trying to save myself. I was in the Matrix last night and that's why we didn't watch it. But I think I was actually trying to save myself because I knew how it was gonna be.
you knew that you were like, fuck.
Fuck me, man.
I don't want them.
Don't like it.
Here's
don't
the
like
other
it.
thing too. I don't want them to be bad. Why
Yeah.
would I want them to be bad?
That's my
Right.
thing.
I know. I didn't want them to be bad either.
Right,
I was so
and, like-
excited for them to be good.
And it's like such wasted potential.
Yeah.
Because like the first Matrix movie is so good and it's so iconic and it like has so much to say, and it has so much to say that I can forgive the things that are wrong with it for the message that is
and
there.
also because it's so, the first Matrix movie is so fucking entertaining.
And it's like
It's
bro,
fun.
and it's also like you can literally relate to Neo. Like I work in a cubicle. You
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean?
yeah,
Like, I
definitely.
literally sit in a cubicle.
Yeah.
So like you can relate to that, like the monotony of life, and think like, God, there's got to be something better than this. Why am I doing this?
And like, you know, about the subversion of insignificance and what is to be significant. And
Right.
like, it's like it's got so many great messages in it. And it's also got so many iconic scenes. I mean, there is no Inception without the Matrix. There is no Taken, no
Right.
fucking Wanted. All these fantastic action movies that came post Matrix are entirely inspired by Matrix. Now, Matrix may be the great borrower of content,
Right.
But at the same time, you cannot ignore the directing prowess that they brought, the absolutely like iconic images that they created themselves,
the aesthetic that they
the
created.
aesthetic. This whole series, if not anything, is aesthetics.
Yes. And that's like ultimately, like you've said it a couple times, like you don't get why I like it so much, but that's why I like it so
No.
much.
It's not that I don't get why you don't like it that much. It's that I don't get why you don't like it, and or why you like it but you don't like anime. Because this shit is a fucking anime. This
Yeah.
is an anime, dude. Like any anime I've ever seen is the fucking Matrix. We were watching Yu Yu Hakusho even, and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho has similarities to the Matrix.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know, I just love the aesthetics of it, and I love the fucking the imagery and the
Like,
scenes.
like you should watch like Ghost in the Shell, Psycho Pass. Like you'd love it. You'd fucking love it. I promise.
I mean, I was like high key obsessed with Death Note for like 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I was just really in the shits.
yeah,
I
exactly.
Yeah.
never finished it either. We never got to the end.
We'll eventually get to the end.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much anymore.
You
but
only
it's
have
fine.
like one episode left. I think 2 episodes.
Is that right?
I'm not kidding. Yeah, it was
That's
like
funny.
almost at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me mad. It just is upsetting to me because it has so much potential, and it's like I want this movie to be so much more than it is. And it's like at this point, I know I said some things earlier, but like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
It feels like there's probably like a better like fan fiction out there
No,
than
this
this movie
two things I was
was.
gonna say.
I'm certain.
One,
Yeah.
this is a negative thing about the Matrix. This movie didn't have enough action sequences. It felt like the second movie was really overloaded with them, and this one wasn't.
The fucking
There needs to be a
the
mix.
fucking Zion battle.
Yeah,
is
the
so
Zion
boring.
battle is so long.
I was coloring in my coloring book.
But the Animatrix
fucking
guys,
it.
the Animatrix is really fucking good. We're gonna review that with the person from our other podcast as well around the time Matrix 4 comes out, which we will also review.
I hope that the Matrix 4 is good.
You know what I want to know?
I think it
also
All right,
could
so
that
by the
be
way,
good.
guys, let's just roll through who's dead. Neo's dead. Trinity's dead.
Wow.
Who else was dead?
How are
Who
they
else
doing a
interesting?
fourth without their like
This
god?
is my point. Neo's dead and Trinity's dead. They're coming back for the sequel. Morpheus is not the one who was alive.
Right. Well,
Really?
To be,
Wow.
to be fair, to give it something, the third movie did say that Neo would probably still be alive.
Well, they said also that now it's iOS 7, right? So it's going to start all over again.
yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter. But I think if they're smart, what they're going to do, if they got rid of... They need to do something good with Neo. So how's about you make him the new Morpheus?
That's what I would kind of assume that they would do.
I don't think it
that
is,
not
dude.
the plan?
I think he's the one again.
That's so dumb. He's the two.
That's so
Yeah, he's the two. We'll call him Watt. Or Toe.
toe.
But
I
yeah,
love that
I don't know.
shit.
Yeah, I kind of naturally assumed that Keanu Reeves would be the new Morpheus. I didn't expect him to be like the star of this movie. I expected them to pick somebody like
and not only
young
that, but
and
I've heard they're
fresh.
doing a lot of like young face CG stuff.
Oh,
No, stop doing that.
no.
Like,
Don't do that. Just don't do that.
I just thought
Don't
that
do
they
that.
would pick somebody like young to be the new Neo.
Jonathan Groff's in it though, if that means anything to anybody.
Bridget likes him. You know who
He's
I think would
decent.
make a really
I
good
like him.
Neo? Like if they were gonna do the whole thing.
Like Keith Stanfield.
That's who I was gonna say, bro.
That's what I was thinking too, bro.
I was gonna be like the guy you like in Death Note,
Lakeith
the movie.
Stanfield,
Lakeith
dude.
Stanfield. He's so good. He was great.
Yeah, I just watched that Judas movie he did, the one that's nominated for the
Oh,
Oscar.
Judas
Really
and the Black
fucking
Messiah.
good, by the way. Maybe we should cover that. I don't know. It's like we should just stay away from the Oscar movies this
I know.
year.
It's like I don't even want to do it. I don't feel right about it.
Yeah, like Mank so far was pretty boring, even though I love David
I
Fincher.
haven't seen Mank.
We'll get into that another time,
I
or
haven't
maybe
seen-
not.
I haven't seen most of them, but like I've seen a few.
Yeah. But yeah, he'd be perfect. Him or like, we're still good.
Okay.
I've been looking at it.
Cool.
But actually, you know what? Yeah, like good point though. What's everybody's rating on this one, guys? Because I feel like, I mean, I can talk as much shit about it as possible. I wrote way more jokes, but I'm also just tired of talking about it. I feel like it's not even worth my fucking oxygen.
The
bro.
Matrix is over.
Yeah, fucking April showers bring asshole Matrix movies.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Flowers.
I don't know. I just love a cyber goth. Somebody draw me.
This
as a
did
cyber
also
goth,
like
dude.
definitely revitalize the cyber goth scene in
I'm
like
obsessed
Bristol
with
and
it.
stuff.
I wish I could be a cyber goth.
You
Do
totally
it.
can be a cyber
Nobody's
goth.
stopping you from being. You have a mullet now. You could do
Do
it.
cyber
You know
goths
what?
have bullets?
There's a cyber goth club in Chicago. We should go, bro.
We should go.
We should
Oh my
go, dude.
god, I can have my
Yes.
Matrix dream.
I'll go with you, dude.
I'll go with you.
I've been
Okay,
there.
I've actually
I've been
thought
there
about
once.
this. I've actually thought about this a lot. So if I were in the Matrix, this is what I would wear. I would have. It would be like a jumpsuit. Bridget, not
Yes.
Bridget. Logan, you said it like a trap jumpsuit when I was describing this.
Yes.
Like trap pant jumpsuit with
Yes.
like chains and shit, but it's like buttoned really low, so I've got some titty going on.
Yes.
And I have a mullet now, guys. This is what's changed for me. And so like I have that happening, and then I have like these really dark like black sunglasses, but they're heart shaped.
Yes.
Gay.
And then
in
yeah,
the,
and
in
I'm
the
just
best way.
See, my
and I'm
sunglasses.
just fucking it up. I'm just like wearing these like big platform boots, and I just look,
Yes.
I just look hot as hell.
See, mine would be
And a face tat.
Mine would be a full body purple leather romper
Ooh.
with triangle
Ooh.
glasses and my hair
Hot.
sticking straight up.
Can you wear colors, or do they
Nice.
all just wear
Yeah.
black?
Morpheus
Wow.
rocks purple, and he's
Oh,
my
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
It's either
Like-
that or like a maroon.
My most like Matrix style inspo is Neo. Like I like that like trench coat
I can
silhouette.
so tell you're like a Neo stan too.
I am. I simp Neo really hard. I too.
You're like I get why that lesbian likes him because like me too.
right, but then also like I too do want to fuck Carrie Ann Moss.
One thing
what
I
I'm
will
saying?
say though is Neo looks 20 and she looks 50 in all these movies. It looks like he's
That's
kissing
hot to me.
grandma.
Yeah. When the best thing Franny
It's
said
MILF
was it looks
energy.
like she's making out with her son.
MILF,
Yes.
MILF energy. I want to be a young hot Keanu Reeves just scoring MILFs all over the place.
And it's insane because he's older than her.
I know.
That
Wait,
blows
what?
my mind. Yeah, he's older than her.
Yeah, he is. But he's got one of those.
He has this like one of those perpetually young faces.
Yeah.
But he is
God,
like
but
doing, but he's
now-
like doing a beard thing right now.
He's
and
so
I'm
hot.
really into it.
He's,
He's so hot
hiding
now.
that chin though because he's in his age is getting a
Oh,
weaker
yeah.
chin, so he's got the beard going.
But you know what? I respect that. Like you've
He's
got.
gonna
if
be
you-
in Eternals, right? So he's beginning to be a big movie star again. Like he's going for the Marvel.
Yeah, he's
shit
kind of
again.
having like a renaissance right now, and I'm
And
really
John
into
Yeah.
it.
the John Wick movies, dude.
John
They've
Wick's
been
hot right
great.
now.
They've been really fucking good.
We watched Bill and Ted the other day. He is such a little baby
Oh
boy
my
in that
god,
movie.
he
Yeah.
really is.
You just want to pinch his fucking cheeks.
I
What
know.
were we watching that we're gonna do for the pod? That it's just all the baby actors.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, it's got all the baby
Love
actors.
10 Things
We'll
I
do
Hate
that
About You.
eventually. Maybe that. I was
I
thinking
love 10 Things I Hate About You.
we should pair that with Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah,
That way,
that
it's
was the
two
thought.
kind of like tragic love stories, but two totally different ways of handling
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
let us know in the comments what you guys think about that.
We want to do it.
What do you guys rate this movie? I can't rate it. I didn't watch
This
it.
is a 1 out of 10.
I'd say a 2 out of 10.
Somebody's just like revving their engine really aggressively.
Yeah,
outside.
that's
No,
what
that's a garbage can.
Oh,
people do be doing that though. I also think there's like a drag racing track near us because I keep hearing like announcements
I
and then
wanna
like
go
We
drag
know
road
there's
engines.
loose pit bulls around here.
I
Yeah.
want to go drag racing. I have a
Back-
mullet now. I should go drag racing. I think I'm contractually obligated.
Back in my hometown,
It is part of it.
we had like a drag racing
Dude, I'll be your spot man, dude. I'll be changing your tires
strip.
and shit.
It was our claim to
Bruh.
fame, and you
Jesus.
could hear
I'll be like Lightning McQueen. I'm gonna be like,
the
"Ka-chow,
engines and
motherfucker."
shit from across town because
That's
I lived
insane.
across
I love
town.
this part of the podcast where we're having one conversation, they're having another.
Did everybody do the rating?
No, I did not. I give it a 3 out of 10. I don't like it.
Wow, even less than. Oh yeah, so you changed.
I would actually like to go and revisit my rating for the second movie. The more I've thought about it, the more angry I am, and I'd like to give that a 3 out of 10 as well.
Oh, so they're both 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
gonna go back and retcon what I said before. because I don't think it's right anymore.
Because I was like, man, I thought that discussion was lethargic.
This is how you can tell I'm in the Matrix, because like I'm actually reneging on an opinion that I once said.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm going back on something I've said before.
Which I'm sure there's like 90,000 things you want to go back on, but you're like, we don't do that here.
Yeah, because I die on hills. I don't really like go back. I don't slide down them. So
Right.
Do you know how like poetic it'll be if you ever actually do die on a hill?
I
No.
hope to.
I will definitely mention at your funeral, I promise.
I would love to die on a hill. If I'm ever like in hospice and like you think I'm about to kick the bucket, just
Dude,
roll me
dude.
up the nearest hill, bro.
Dude, if for some reason Bridget like died in a meat explosion or something, I guarantee you I'd get you
What?
up that fucking hill, dude.
I like the idea that if Bridget dies, like you're gonna be my caretaker.
Who the fuck else would it be? I'm your boy.
I know. Who else loves me like that, dude?
No one else is gonna take you to a cyber goth club.
I know.
You and your cats can just move into our spare room.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. I think we got all the ratings lined up here. We should.
Did you say yours?
I said it
Oh,
was
you said a 1. Okay.
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
And Bridget did too?
I know. I said a 2 out of 10, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wish it was better.
And don't
I think
forget
we all
to
just wish it was
Miss
better.
Matrix Sona herself gave it a
Ooh.
3 out of 10.
Y'all send us Matrix
That's how bad
fan
it is.
fiction. If anybody out there has good Matrix
Yeah.
fan fiction
Yeah.
that they know of, send us it.
What we're gonna do also is we'll post like we're gonna post more pictures of us on the Twitter and stuff like that. But if somebody wants to make our Matrix Sonas like fan art style, that'd be really fucking
Please
cool.
do mine. I literally described it to a T.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a
Oh my
chubby
god,
girl.
I want mine.
I'm chubby. I'm a big girl. I got curly hair.
well, we'll just post
And
the
a
picture.
mullet.
We'll just post more pictures of us
mullet.
online.
I want the jumpsuit. You can do it, guys. I believe in you. If somebody did it, I would really cry.
I
would
want like
start
the
crying,
high
and I don't show
waisted,
emotion
like
that.
fucking leather pants with like a turtleneck underneath with like the long coat and just like chunky boots.
I love it.
That is my Matrix.
Sound like substitute teachers.
That's
I
me.
love Franny like
Oh, and circle sunglasses.
yes. I love Franny like in a turtleneck and like a long coat, and I'm like, no, I want to be slutty in the Matrix. I want to look like an absolute whore in the Matrix.
I want
Like,
to
you
look
know
like
I'm easy. You know I give it up for free.
I want to
in
look
the
like a
Matrix.
mechanic who also does BDSM.
Yes.
That's my Matrix Sona.
I love that.
Bridget, what's your Matrix Sona?
So I've been thinking about it. And I think like a pleather crop top.
Yeah.
It's like, and then
For the animus.
for the animus.
For the raccoons.
Right. Yeah.
No, you should wear raccoon.
Raccoons.
Audio messed up, but anyways,
We had a glitch
go
in
on
the
with your
Matrix.
go on with your Matrix Sona.
Okay, so like and then also a pleather like skirt with it.
Gotcha.
And then like boots. Big boots.
Like what? Like really
knee-high
large
boots.
boots?
Like knee highs?
Yeah.
Do you mean like really thick boots?
no, like knee high?
You mean like the
I love
the
it.
leather boots?
Yeah.
So she's like all leather. I love that. Okay, what do your sunglasses look like? Because you have to have sunglasses in the Matrix. It's like a law.
It is a law.
I feel like I want them to be like hearts.
How did
I
you
said
not
that
say?
too.
How did you not say cat-eyed glasses?
Right,
Like,
that's what I was sure
How
she
are
was
you
gonna
not
say.
going to pick cat-eyed glasses? You are literally in love with animus to the point where you can't even have leather in the Matrix.
It's the wanting to match you again.
I was like, plus
Dude,
my Matrix Sona already has smart glasses.
I broke Bridges now. She literally did the Jared Leto Joker laugh. Like she's
Bridget-
done.
Jesus Christ.
Bridget loves a good twinsy moment with
Guys,
you.
we timed this just right.
I know.
This is happening exactly how it was supposed to.
Anyway, if you guys liked us, you can check us out on Twitter at is it Crosscut Cinema, right?
Yeah.
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 Also, if you like listen to me and Franny just like talk dumb bullshit, you can check out our other podcast at youtube.com/apilotpodcast, or you can check it out on like Spotify, iTunes, whatever you want. And also, if you like listening to clips or like things related to this podcast or that podcast or just private projects that I'm doing, you can check out my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler, because I beat that other Logan Tyler. I got the domain. You can suck my dick, bitch. Anyway, Madison, you also have something to plug?
Yeah, if you like art, follow my Instagram account. I paint clothes and draw shit. I draw girls smoking weed with their titties out. It's at gentleandkind__. That's all one word, gentleandkind__. Follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back.
All right. Later, Gators.